And here it'll be Florida and Florida State. Another thing Florida State's going for is they have a remarkable record of finishing in the top 5 in the nation, and they could, with a convincing win here, do that again. They are going for their 8th straight 10-win season, and they have had 7 straight top 4 or better finishes in the national rankings.
And just like the nemesis for Florida has been Florida State, the nemesis for Florida State has been the University of Miami. The University of Miami has taken them out of the national championship hunt a number of times, and for a lot of years, including this year again, Miami beat Florida State down at the Orange Bowl. So it seems like Miami has Florida State's number, whereby Florida State has Florida's number.
Now the Florida State Seminoles come out onto the field from the tunnel at our left, and the captains are going to meet at midfield for the toss of the coin. Florida's captains are Larry Kennedy, along with Henry McMillan. Terry Dean is going out as one of the captains, and Aubrey Hill.
And one more guy who's probably a key factor in this game for Florida State is Zach Crockett, the fullback. This guy took a red shirt because of William Floyd being here at Florida State and came back this year. He's an outstanding blocker, a good receiver out of the backfield. He will be picking up the blitz a lot of times when Florida comes after a quarterback, and Crockett could be a key factor in the blocking scheme for the pickup.
The officials for tonight's USF&G Sugar Bowl are assigned by the Big 8. The referee is Steve Usacek, the umpire Ron Johnson, head linesman Mark Hittner, line judge Paul Brown, field judge Terry Porter, side judge Phil Laurie, and the back judge is Mark Johnson. The coin toss was won by the Florida Gators. They are going to take the ball. So Florida will get the ball first. Florida State will kick off. Florida State's captains for the toss of the coin, Kendrick Scott, along with Derek Brooks, their All-American linebacker.
And Florida State will go on defense to start the game. And one guy who's healthy, which is different than what happened in the first game, is Derek Alexander. He had a hyperextended elbow at the beginning of that game. He is healthy today, and he is one of the best pass rushers in college football, and he should raise some havoc in that backfield for Florida.
So the 61st annual USF&G Sugar Bowl about to get underway. Florida State and Florida. Florida State, both Florida State and Florida with dangerous return men. Jack Jackson is one of the return men, the All-American wide receiver for Florida. He'll be one of the deep men, along with Riedel Anthony, the freshman, who has had a great year for a true freshman for the Florida Gators. Scott Bentley will kick off for Florida State. Well, we are just about set to get underway here for the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, a sold-out Superdome.
What happened in the first game for Florida State defensively, they gave up a big play, a broken assignment in the secondary, and a deep touchdown pass by Jackson in that first game. That took them out of a lot of schemes they wanted to do. They got concerned. They got cautious a little bit after the touchdown pass, after a broken assignment. I think they'll see this game. They'll come after the quarterback. They'll pressure. They'll go man-to-man. They'll do a lot of blitzing today to take any quarterback out of his rhythm.
Jack Jackson and Riedel Anthony are the deep men for Florida to take Bentley's kick. I would say that this sold-out Superdome is probably just about equally split between Gators supporters and Seminole supporters.
If you go by the Hyatt bar, they're definitely split. As I walk through there on my way to the Superdome.
Yeah, I figure you're walking through there. You certainly didn't stop there.
Just passing through.
Yeah. All right, we're about ready for Bentley to get the signal from the officials. And Florida, the Florida Gators, with their explosive offense, will have the ball first. The Gators second in the nation in scoring offense. Bentley of Florida State, ready to come down on the ball. We are underway. Driving kickoff taken by Jack Jackson. Noah bounces past him into the end zone. It won't be returned. And Florida will start on offense 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Danny Werfel, the sophomore, will be the quarterback. Elijah Williams will be his tailback, and Chris Bilkey, the fullback. Aubrey Hill and Jack Jackson will be the wide receivers. So Werfel, who took over during the Auburn game when Terry Dean was benched, Werfel has thrown for 1,754 yards, 18 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Brings out the Gators 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. He's going to throw on 1st down. Hits Jack Jackson up to the 20, the 25, to the 29-yard line. Jack Jackson just a quick flanker out. Got it to the 29 before Darrell Bush brought him down. It'll be a yard short of the 1st down.
And a key to that play is Danny Werfel very quickly getting the ball from center and getting the ball out to Jack Jackson in that slot area. So there's some space in between Jackson and a defensive back, and Jackson makes an easy 1st down, or 9 yards.
2nd down and a yard to go for the 1st down for Florida at their own 29-yard line. Danny Werfel calling signals. Handoff goes to Taylor. Taylor has the 1st down. Over the 30 to the 31-yard line goes the true freshman running back, Fred Taylor. From Belglade, Florida, he was stopped by Derek Brooks, but he picked up 2 and a 1st down.
You cannot gang up against the passing game of Danny Werfel and those great wide receivers he has and forget about the running game. Taylor is an outstanding runner. A lot of the yards he makes are inside, draws and delays up the middle when those defensive linemen are rushing the passer.
1st and 10, Florida at their own 30-yard line. Jackson wide to the right. Aubrey Hill is wide to the left. In motion goes Taylor. Werfel back to pass. Lobs one toward the near sideline, but well covered on the play was Jack Jackson by Corey Fuller. So he literally threw it away. It'll be 2nd and 10.
You want to have a training tape on how to play cornerback. That time Corey Fuller at the last second came up in bump and run coverage and just nailed the receiver right at the line of scrimmage, bumped it to the outside, ran with it. There was no place for Danny Werfel to throw the football. He should have gone somewhere else. Corey Fuller did an outstanding job.
2nd down and 10, and now we have 4 wideouts, 2 to the left and 2 to the right. With one setback, he's Fred Taylor behind Werfel. Werfel straight back to pass, looks down the middle. He throws. It is caught for short yardage by Aubrey Hill. Hill caught it at the 35. He was dropped immediately. A gain of just 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Derek Brooks making the tackle, the All-American linebacker for Florida State.
And so far, the offensive line of Florida giving Danny Werfel a lot of time back there to try to find the open receiver. At the last second, he goes to Hill with probably his 3rd receiver on that pattern, and he makes the catch for good yardage.
They spotted at the 36. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for Florida. 3 wideouts to the left and 1 to the right. Werfel back to pass. Looks upfield. Throws. Caught for a 1st down. 40 up to midfield. Down to the 46 of Florida State goes Fred Taylor. Fred Taylor, the true freshman running back from Belglade, was finally stopped by Todd Riebel, but it's a 1st down, Florida.
All Taylor does is come through the offensive line, just kind of delays for a count, and comes through, again, man-to-man coverage. You got a linebacker trying to cover Taylor, cannot do it. Taylor makes the catch right in open field and turns it up for another 1st down. 1st
and 10, Gators at the 45-yard line of Florida State. 2 wideouts to the right, 2 to the left. The lone setback is Fred Taylor. Taylor gets the handoff, gaping a hole. It closes rather quickly, but he got 5 to the 40-yard line. Did Fred Taylor. Stopped by Derek Brooks, but not before Taylor picked up 5, and Jack Ham, this true freshman, has been a factor in this 1st drive.
You got to make sure you read your keys in the offensive line. They're running the football inside the tackle right now with Taylor, and you cannot rush up the field thinking pass. You cannot guess against that Florida offense.
3 wideouts go to the left and 1 to the right. On 2nd down and 5 for the Florida Gators at the 40-yard line of Florida State. Werfel back to pass. Little flat pass to Taylor. He's in trouble, gets out of trouble. Gets a 1st down, but there's a penalty marker down on the play. And I believe they're going to get a clip on Florida, or an illegal block on Florida on center David Swain. Nifty running by Fred Taylor, but it's going to be brought back.
What it is it's just a quick screen out to the outside. Taylor is a big part of the offense right now. Not the wide receivers, but Taylor, the running back. Swain got a bad angle. The official right there threw the flag right at the 45-yard line, which will slow down this drive.
It is an illegal block in the back on the Florida Gators. That'll negate the first down run by Fred Taylor. Boy, you look at Fred Taylor the way you do Warwick Dunn. Dunn now is a true sophomore. He was an exciting runner for Florida State last year as a true freshman, and this fellow Fred Taylor is an exciting runner for Florida as a true freshman.
Well, you line up right now. Now they're lining up with 5 wide receivers at the line of scrimmage. Nobody in the backfield for Florida.
Ball spotted at midfield where it'll be second down and 15. Werfel, they're coming after him, and he gets away from the sack, gets the pass away, caught for short yardage. It'll be a gain of 5, but amazingly, Werfel was able to avoid the sack by Todd Riebel, the blitzing linebacker.
Riebel's really beside himself right now. He realized he should have had Danny Werfel. Anytime they go to no backs in the backfield, Florida State defense checks to a blitz because nobody can pick it up. They brought Derek Brooks. They brought Riebel. Riebel came clean. He should have made the sack back there. A good job by Danny Werfel to get out of it.
Gain of 5 on the play. It'll be third down, 10 Florida at the 45-yard line of Florida State. 5 wideouts and no setback behind Werfel. He's back to pass. Look out! He's nailed by Peter Boulware, the redshirt freshman from Columbia, South Carolina, who came through clean and sacked Werfel back at the 48 of Florida.
Well, they think of Derek Alexander on the other side. They want to double team him. Boulware just comes off the corner, use that great speed at speed up the field rush, and that'll end the drive for Florida right there, and an outstanding sack and a move by Peter Boulware.
Shane Edge is in to punt. Back to take the punt is James Colsey, standing at his own 12-yard line. Edge, an excellent punter, gets a good snap. Gets a high, tremendous punt over the head of Colsey. It takes a great bounce for Florida and goes out of bounds at the 7-yard line. What a fine punt by Shane Edge, the senior from Lake City. And Florida State will have it for the first time at their own 7-yard line. Timeout on the field. Now this for Pizza Hut.
You love how new we're looking. You love how hot we're cooking. Yeah. You love the stuff we're made of. You love how fresh we make it. You love how fast we take it. You love the stuff. You love the stuff we're made of. You love the stuff we're made of. Pizza Hut.
There's a whole new spirit at Pizza Hut in the food, the service, the people, and from the biggest smile right down to the smallest detail, you're going to feel it and taste it in everything we do. So from now on, your pizza will be right or it's free, guaranteed.
You love the stuff we're made of. You love the stuff we're made of. Pizza Hut. You love the stuff.
Let us know within 24 hours. Details at participating restaurants.
You love the stuff we're made of. You love the stuff we're made of. Pizza Hut.
Now back to the Sugar Bowl. Here's Harry Callis and Jack Ham.
0-0, 10:29 left to play in the first quarter. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual, your network leader in radio sports. A fine 45-yard punt by Shane Edge of Florida has put Florida State inside their own 10. The Seminoles will start first and 10 from their own 7-yard line. Danny Canal will be the quarterback. Warwick Dunn and Zach Crockett will be the setbacks. Ez McCorvey and Omar Ellison, the wide receivers. So Florida failed to score on their first possession. Now the Florida State Seminoles with the ball at their own 7-yard line.
And I think Danny Cannell got a lot of confidence at quarterback after that fourth period 28-point drive against Florida. in the last game of the season.
And they're starting Jack Ham from the shotgun. Warwick Dunn is lined up alongside Danny Canal, who will get the direct snap from center. Handoff to Dunn, over the 10 to the 15 to the 16-yard line. He's close to a first down. So just as you predicted, they started with 4 wideouts, 2 to the right and 2 to the left. But Dunn lined up in the shotgun right alongside his quarterback, Canal, and picked up 9 yards on the play.
Well, it means to a defense you cannot play pass in that shotgun. Warwick Dunn is that good a running back out of that shotgun to make big plays, just picking his hole in that defensive line of Florida.
Now they'll go from the T formation, handoff to Dunn, who gets the first down and then some over the 20 to the 22-yard line. Pick up a 6 on the play. Kevin Freeman made the tackle, but it'll be first down at 10, Florida State. So we have seen on the Florida side of the ball a true freshman, Fred Taylor, getting most of the offensive yardage for Florida. And here a true sophomore, Warwick Dunn, doing it for Florida State.
I don't know anybody that gets off the mark any quicker in college football than Warwick Dunn.
First and 10, Florida State. They have it at their own 23-yard line. They'll go from the shotgun formation, 2 wideouts to the left and 1 to the right. And Canal throws a flat pass, wide open down at the 25, the 30, up to the 33-yard line. He has another first down, does Warwick Dunn. Finally stopped by Lawrence Wright.
Warwick Dunn is a running back that'll make Steve Spurrier get out of his zone defense. You cannot play zone, drop off 10 or 12 yards, let him catch the football and come up and react. He's too good a receiver out of that backfield. That time very easily making the catch and a first down.
So it's been all Warwick Dunn offensively for Florida State. 2 first downs. They have it now at their own 33-yard line. And they'll operate from the T formation behind Danny Canal. Canal now appears to be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Here's a handoff and bursting through over the 40 and all the way to the 49-yard line. A pickup of 16 yards. Goes number 24, Rock Preston. Or no, that's Warwick Dunn again. Warwick Dunn.
They're going to wear him out here in the first period right now, running him every play and also catching the football out of the backfield. They want to run the ball against that Florida defense. That's exactly what Bobby Bowden, Florida State, is doing right now.
Here's a direct snap to Canal, who rolls out to the right. Now throws deep downfield. He has a man. It is caught at the 10-yard line. Caught at the 10-yard line by E.G. Green. Green had a couple of steps. The ball stayed in the air for a while, but E.G. Green, a redshirt freshman, made the catch at the 10. It'll be first down for Florida State.
And there had to be a breakdown in that secondary for Florida because Green was wide open by 10 yards. And Danny Canal underthrew the football, or Green walked into the end zone. Breakdown in that secondary, big play for Florida State.
First down just outside the 10-yard line. Direct snap to Werfel. To Canal. Throws to Warwick Dunn, and Dunn gets in down to the 5-yard line. Flat pass to Dunn. He was tackled by Ben Hanks. Canal to Dunn, picking up 5 yards. Their big play in this drive was a pass play to E.G. Green. But other than that, it's been all Warwick Dunn.
Well, Florida continues to play that zone defense. They dump the football off to Dunn again. And again, he makes good yardage down to the 5-yard line.
Second down and goal. The ball was spotted just inside the 10. Canal throws. He was hit as he was throwing in and out of the grasp of his intended receiver deep in the end zone, Kez McCorvey. Kez McCorvey tried to make a fingertip catch while staying in the end zone, could not. And that time, Danny Canal was under severe pressure. It'll be third down.
Well, McCorvey was at the corner of the end zone. He realized he was close to getting out of bounds. He's trying to make the catch and get 1 foot down in bounds in the end zone. Could not do it. Canal, because of the pressure, could not put the ball on the money.
It'll be third down and goal to go just inside the 6-yard line of Florida. Danny Canal gets the direct snap. Hands off to Dunn. A spin move, but he couldn't elude a sure tackle at the 4-yard line by James Bates. James Bates, who had just been inserted defensively by Florida. Good tackle And stop done after a gain of just a yard, and now the field goal unit will come on for Florida State.
Well, James Bates can put that on his highlight film, because I tell you, in open field, if Bates doesn't make the play, Dunn is in the end zone very easily. Try to put a spin move on one-on-one in open field, and Bates was up to the task.
Dan Mowry now will attempt a 21-yard field goal. Under the hold of Danny Canal, the kick is up, and it is good, and Florida State has drawn first blood here in the USF&G Sugar Bowl. 7:20 left to play here in the first quarter. 3-0 Florida State. This is the USF&G Sugar Bowl on Mutual.
Hey, Mama, you got a little baby, lucky you. Hey, Mama, you got a little baby, and here's what your baby is counting on you to do. They need 11 shots by 2, Ma. How sure are you, Ma? 11 shots by 2. Your baby's counting on you. Your baby's counting on you.
Take a minute to call your doctor and check your records. Even if you visit a doctor regularly, your baby may not be fully protected from life-threatening disease. Your baby needs at least 11 shots by age 2. Questions? Call 1-800-232-2522.
11 shots by 2, Ma. How sure are you, Ma? 11 shots by 2. Your baby's counting on you.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Time now for Pizza Hut's look at one of the performers in tonight's game. Pizza Hut, you'll love the stuff we're made of.
With all of Florida's offensive stars in 1994, one player really stands out. Figuratively, that is. The diminutive Jack Jackson showed Florida fans all season that he is made of the right stuff. Inside Jackson's 5'9" frame revs an engine powerful enough to move a locomotive. Jackson broke the Gators' record for career receiving touchdowns, slicing consistently through opposing defenses. Jackson proved, despite his size, he has the right stuff. Congratulations, Jack Jackson from Pizza Hut. You'll love the stuff we're made of.
And the All-American Jack Jackson, one of the deep men for Florida to take the kickoff, coming from Scott Bentley. Jackson on the near side. Riedel Anthony is on the far side. Bentley comes down on the ball. Gets the kick away. It's headed toward Jackson, who takes it at the 2, up to the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, and is wrestled down at about the 26-yard line. Brought down by Darrell Bush, among others, for Florida State. It'll be 1st and 10 for Florida. They spotted just over the 25. The Gators will have it at their own 26-yard line.
And also right now, Florida State is without one of their best defensive linemen. Derek Alexander has gone to the dressing room to get stitches over his eye. He is not in the lineup right now, and if he cannot come back into the lineup, that's going to really hurt Florida State with their pass rush.
2 wideouts to the right. From the T formation in motion goes Riedel Anthony to the left. Here's a handoff on a reverse, and now Riedel Anthony's going to throw deep downfield to Jack Jackson. Caught at the 25 down to the 21. A reverse to Riedel Anthony, who threw a pass, and I mean he threw a good spiral to Jack Jackson. Big play for Florida. They have it at the Florida State 22-yard line.
And why that play worked, because Anthony really put a good throw downfield. Jackson looked like he was pretty well covered, but that was an outstanding throw by Anthony right on the money to Jackson. He had to slow up a little bit, but still made the catch at the 22-yard line. 52 yards on that reception by Jackson.
Wide receivers can't throw it that well, can they, Jack? That was a fine pass by Riedel Anthony, the freshman. It's 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. Handoff to Elijah Williams inside the 20 to about the 18 before he's stopped by Darrell Bush. Elijah Williams, the ball carrier, picked up about 4 on the play. And now an offensive lineman is shaken up. Donnie Young, who has been having ankle problems, is coming out of the Florida lineup.
Well, they weren't sure whether he's going to make the entire game or not. He's had a foot problem. He came out of the Alabama game as well. This guy's been banged up all year long. Talking to some of the coaches from Florida, they hoped he could hold up for this game, but looks like all of a sudden that Florida offensive line will get a little bit more thin.
Reggie Green takes his spot at the offensive right guard. Second down and 6 for Florida. They have the ball at the 18-yard line of Florida State. Mobley goes in motion. Back to pass is Werfel. Little flat pass to Elijah Williams, and he gets it down to about the 16-yard line. A pickup of just a couple before he was rocked down hard on the play by Corey Fuller.
And Jack Jackson, the wide receiver, came down and picked the linebacker. Came in and absolutely blocked him on the play, which is illegal. The official didn't see it at all. But Jackson is coming down and trying to make sure he knocks off the linebacker who's got the running back out of the backfield.
Third down and 4 for Florida at the 16 of Florida State. 2 wideouts to the right, 2 to the left, 3 to the left. 5 wideouts in this formation. Werfel. And Werfel on a quarterback draw gets it all the way down to the 6-yard line.
Well, you better be well prepared defensively if you're going up against Steve Spurrier. A wide receiver pass downfield to Jackson for a big play for 52 yards, and then 5 wide receivers, and then Danny Werfel runs a quarterback draw right up the middle for a first down at the Florida State 5.
First down and goal for Florida at the 5-yard line of Florida State. Elijah Williams, the lone setback behind Danny Werfel. 3 wideouts right, 1 left. Williams gets the handoff and gets just a yard where he is stacked up on the play. Brought down by Todd Rebold, junior linebacker from Punta Gorda.
We're just trying to keep that Florida State defensive line and linebackers on it. Quarterback draw, and now Williams again up the middle. They come in at 3 and sometimes 4 wide receiver set and sometimes 5. Going to make sure those defensive linemen of Florida State just don't tee off and rush Danny Werfel.
Second down and goal at the 4-yard line of Florida State. Florida State leads 3-0. Florida driving. In motion goes Williams to the right. Back to pass is Werfel. He's hit as he releases. He was trying to get the ball into the end zone to Ike Hilliard, but he was hit as he released by Todd Rebold.
Well, they are blitzing Danny Werfel every time he goes to no backs in the backfield. That time they put the back in motion, and Werfel came on the blitz untouched and just absolutely nailed Danny Werfel back in that pocket.
That'll be third down and goal to go. Chris Doring is checked in as an extra wide receiver. They have 3 of them to the left and 2 to the right on third down and goal at the 4-yard line of Florida State. Werfel awaits the direct snap. He gets it, rolls out to the right. It's a running play, and he's going to go nowhere. Derek Brooks wraps him up at the 6-yard line. So Werfel, it was a designed running play for Werfel to try to get it in around his own right end, but Derek Brooks, the All-American linebacker, nailed him, and the field goal unit comes on.
That was going to be a quarterback sweep with Danny Werfel going to his right, and I'll tell you, Derek Brooks was blocked initially. He did a job of coming off the blocker at the line of scrimmage and using that great speed and quickness, came down the line of scrimmage and took Werfel out of bounds right at the 5.
Judd Davis now will try a 22-yard field goal to tie this game. It's spotted by Edge. The kick is up, and it is good, and we are tied. 3:57 to play in the first quarter with the score. Florida State 3, Florida 3. There's a timeout. Now this for STP.
Is your car hard to start? When you accelerate, does your car hesitate? Notice the loss in power? If you said yes, maybe it's dirty fuel injectors, and time for STP Super Concentrated Fuel Injector Cleaner. One treatment helps unclog dirty injectors fast to restore power and performance for up to 2,500 miles. So use STP, or just keep going the way you've been going. STP. Drive a better car.
Another meeting of Dippers Anonymous.
Hi, my name is Steve, and I'm a dipper.
We love you, Steve!
I dipped my new car in cement.
Oh.
And my mother was in it.
Oh.
New car, wow.
Someone's dipping!
It's him! I can't help it. It's these new Little Caesars Crazy Bread Dippers and Sauces.
Yeah! Get the Crazy Dipper! Yeah!
Little Caesars Crazy Dipper Deal. Get 2 pepperoni pizzas for $7.99 and get 16 free Crazy Bread Dippers and 2 free dipping sauces.
Pizza. At participating stores, prices may vary.
Passes, how many runs? 4?
Back at the Superdome in the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana, we are tied at 3-3. Florida State and Florida in the USF&G Sugar Bowl. 3:57 to play in the first quarter. 21-yard field goal by Florida State. 22-yard field goal by the Florida Gators, but Gators coach Steve Spurrier has shown some gadget plays already.
That'll make defensive backs, corners, and safety staying with their receivers all the time and any kind of reverse, because Steve Spurrier and Bobby Bowden will throw any kind of gadget play you can right now. But when Florida State gets his ball, Spurrier said he had to stop Warwick Dunn. Well, on that first drive for Florida State, Warwick Dunn, total of 57 yards, 33 rushing, 24 passing. He was a big part of why Florida State got that field goal.
Now Florida will kick off. The deep men for Florida State are Omar Ellison and Philip Riley. Shane Edge doing the kicking off for Florida. Gets the driving kickoff away. Taken by Ellison at the 9-yard line up to the 10, the 15, and he is upended on a good special teams tackle at the 18-yard line. Special teams play by the Florida Gators, Fred Weary. Spotted on the 19-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Danny Canal and company of Florida State.
Well, I think he's got to be very happy right now. Danny Canal realized he ran the football well against that Florida defense with Warwick Dunn. Also threw the ball, big plays downfield. Just could not get it in the end zone on 3rd down, and that delayed draw to Warwick Dunn.
Warwick Dunn is not in the lineup now. It is Rock Preston at that setback from the shotgun formation, standing right next to Danny Canal. 1st and 10 of the 19-yard line. Direct snap to Canal. He looks upfield, throws down the middle. It's caught at the 25-yard line. Down immediately is Omar Ellison. A pickup of 6 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
They did the drop-off when they have Preston in the lineup. He is maybe not as elusive as Warwick Dunn, but he's very, very quick going through that whole blinding speed.
No huddle from the shotgun on 2nd down and 4. Now they go to the T formation. Here's a pitch back to Rock Preston, hitting his own backfield, but eludes a tackle, but he's grabbed by somebody else. Initially grabbed by Kevin Carter. He slowed him down, and then Dexter Daniels stopped him behind the line of scrimmage at the 24-yard line, a loss of 2 on the play.
Kevin Carter is so quick off the ball. He gets into the backfield. They try a quick toss to Preston to the outside. Carter just does a good job of splitting the double team, getting penetration in the backfield, and Preston had no chance.
That'll be 3rd down now. And about 6 for a 1st down back at their own 23-yard line. From the shotgun. Canal gets the direct snap. He is sacked back at the 12-yard line. Sacked by Kevin Carter. Kevin Carter, who had 11.8 sacks during the regular season, comes in and nails Canal before he can cock his arm.
When he's looking to the right, Preston was well covered. Larry Kennedy picked up Preston in the flat. He wanted to go to Preston. When he brought the football back down, Carter was all over Canal.
Dan Mowry comes in to punt for Florida State. Sorolla Palmer is back in safety for Florida. Drives him back. Palmer takes it back at the 31. Fumbles, recovers up to the 35, and knocked out of bounds at the 39-yard line is Sorolla Palmer. So Florida will have it 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. We're tied 3-3 with 1:55 left to play here in the 1st quarter. Time out on the field. Now this for Heat Plus.
Every car's fuel system is its lifeline, and that lifeline accumulates harmful carbon deposits, causing performance loss and even stalls. Now there's Heat Plus. New Heat Plus fuel system protectant cleans injectors and intake valves, conditions the fuel pump, and removes water, protecting against gas line freeze and oxidation. Heat Plus brings older cars back to life, keeps newer cars running like new all year round. New Heat Plus gives you power to go. It's guaranteed.
We're here in Lawton, Oklahoma, home to the biggest Goodyear tire plant in the world. You've never seen an assembly line like this. The best tires on the road. Tires with Goodyear written all over them, coming off the assembly line by the thousands. And now, all these Goodyear tires are on sale at participating Goodyear retailers all across America. Thousands of Goodyear Eagles, Goodyear Wranglers, and Goodyear Aquatreads are all on sale now. But hurry, sale ends January 21st. Credit terms available.
Back at the USF&G Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, Louisiana, the Superdome. We are tied 3-3 in the rematch. Florida State and Florida, 1:55 left to play here in the first quarter. Florida will start from their own 40-yard line following a good punt by Dan Mowry.
And Derek Alexander is back in the lineup. He had 3 stitches above his left eye. He had that attended to in the locker room, and now he's back in the lineup. That is not easy to do, to put a helmet back over the top of some stitches and come back in and play defensive line. But he realizes this is his last football game for Florida State, and he is back there at defensive end.
Now Florida will start in decent field position following their defensive stand led by Kevin Carter, the All-American defensive end who sacked Danny Canal. 2 wideouts to the right. They are Aubrey Hill and Riedel Anthony. 1 wideout to the left. He's Jack Jackson as Werfel brings him out. Werfel, play action, throws. It is caught by Jack Jackson at the 49 of Florida State. He's dropped immediately, but has enough for a first down. Corey Fuller on the coverage of Jack Jackson, but he picked up 11 and a first down for Florida.
But Jack Jackson comes downfield about 10 yards and makes it look like he is going deep to the post, and all of a sudden just break that thing off. The ball was right there from Danny Werfel, and an easy first down catch by Jack Jackson.
They spotted at the 48 of Florida State, 1st and 10 for Florida. Danny Werfel from the I formation, 2 wideouts right, 1 to the left. Now Werfel changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Back to pass, looks, throws down the middle. It's caught by Fred Taylor, and he picks up just 3 to the 45 of Florida State. Fred Taylor was rocked down hard on the play by James Roberson.
Well, you catch a ball in either secondary, Florida or Florida State, there are people gang tackling. Look like Taylor's going to make something after the catch. 2 or 3 different people in that secondary for Florida State just gang tagging on every play in that secondary.
2nd down and 7 for Florida at the 45 of Florida State. Lone setback is Fred Taylor with 2 up wideouts to the right and 2 to the left. Danny Werfel now again changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Just a quick toss up the middle to Riedel Anthony, and he is hit immediately. He picked up about 4. Sean Hamlin making the tackle for Florida State. He'll be close to a first down, but shy about a yard or 2 on the play.
Boy, Anthony just out of that slot formation. Danny Werfel at the line of scrimmage. He read the defensive secondary, took his time underneath the center, and that quick slant pattern to Anthony was right there. Hamlin makes the tackle right at the 38-yard line, but Danny Werfel doing a good job of, at the line of scrimmage, getting a pre-read on the defense of Florida State.
3rd and 1, Sean Nunn has checked in at the tight end spot, and Chris Bilkey has come in as a blocking fullback. In their effort to try to get the first down, but the first quarter has ended before the play is off. So that's the end of the first quarter here at the Superdome in New Orleans with the score of Florida State 3, Florida 3. Now this for Sears Bridge. Back at the Superdome in New Orleans, Harry Callis along with Jack Ham. Our spotter is Eric Koch, our statistician Kevin Dramas, and our on-site producer-engineer Gary Baylor. Our studio producer-engineer is Al Smith. Florida's looking at a 3rd down and 1 from the 38-yard line of Florida State. Now, before the quarter ended, Florida had in there their blocking back, Chris Bilkey, who was a blocking fullback, but now that the quarter ended and they're starting the second quarter, Bilkey's no longer in there. Dwayne Mobley is a sophomore, but not as good a blocker, so maybe chicanery here by Steve Spurrier. Instead of going short, he might go long.
You cannot gang up on short yardage against Steve Spurrier. He'll go deep at any time on that field.
Danny Werfel calling a 3rd down and 1. Now they hand off, and a gaping hole for the first down for Fred Taylor. Good offensive blocking in that line as Taylor went down to the 32-yard line. They not only got 1, they got about 8. Big hole on the left side. Good job by Jason Odom and Jeff Mitchell.
Exactly. Odom was the key guy on left tackle who sprung Taylor that time on 3rd down and short, and Florida State was knocked off the line of scrimmage.
1st and 10, Florida at the 32-yard line of Florida State. Danny Werfel hands off to Taylor. Off right tackle, fumbles, and Florida State is recovered at the 26-yard line. Fred Taylor fumbled the football, and the Seminoles have recovered at the 26-yard line, pouncing on that football, Sean Hamlet.
There is such hard hitting in that secondary. There's going to be a lot of fumbles here, I think, in this game. The team that can hang on to the ball once they get through the defensive line, maybe the team that ends up winning this game, but very hard hitting on both sides. Hamlet comes up with the fumble, gang tackling Taylor as he comes through. Looks like Warble got his left hand in there and knocked the ball loose.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Florida State, taking over on the fumble on the 26-yard line. Danny Canal bringing him out on 1st and 10 from the shotgun with 2 wideouts to the left and 2 to the right. Canal gets the direct snap, just throws a flat pass to Warwick Dunn, who's going to throw a pass downfield. It is in, caught at the 35, to the 30, the 20, the 10, touchdown, Omar Ellison. On a flat pass to Warwick Dunn, and Omar Ellison was covered but made a great catch. And it is a 64-yard touchdown play, Florida State.
I'll tell you, Warwick Dunn can do it all. That time he got the lateral, rolled out, looked like, in fact, he was going to run with the football, stopped, planted his feet, and laid the football. Good coverage downfield by Florida, but Omar Ellison did a good job of fighting for the football near the 45-yard line, gathered it in, and went in for the score. Also a flag down. I think it's going to be a celebration, 15-yard penalty against Florida State on the kickoff.
That is going to be a Sugar Bowl record 73-yard touchdown pass. It'll go from Warwick Dunn to Omar Ellison after the lateral from Danny Canal.
And the longest touchdown pass in the Sugar Bowl history is thrown not by a quarterback.
That's amazing. As many great quarterbacks that have played in this Sugar Bowl game here in New Orleans. Now the extra point attempt by Dan Mowry. Danny Canal to hold. The kick is up, and it is good. So Florida State has taken a 10-3 lead. We have 14:25 to play in the first half. This is the USF&G Sugar Bowl on Mutual. Florida State leads 10-3, 14:25 left to play here in the first half. But as a result of the celebration penalty, the Seminoles will have to kick off from their own 20-yard line, so Florida should come out of this kickoff with good field position.
And Steesberg came in this game, said, I got to worry about the running of Warwick Dunn. I got to worry about him catching the football. Now he's got to worry about him throwing the ball as well, because he got the touchdown pass down to Omar Ellison for the score for Florida State.
Sugar Bowl record, 73 yards. Bentley to kick off. Jackson and Anthony are the deep men, and this one is going to go out of bounds, so Florida will have it in good field position after the out-of-bounds kick.
They're going to have it up at the 50-yard line for the illegal celebration by Florida State. They've called this a lot, especially in the bowl games lately here against teams after they score a touchdown or a field goal or whatever in the end zone, and those 15-yard penalties are awfully big to a team, and this ball going out of bounds, Florida will have outstanding field position and won't have to work with about half the field against that Florida State defense.
Procedure, kicking team, kick out of bounds, by roll, ball will replace on a 50-yard line.
Placed at midfield as we listen to referee Steve Usacek. The officials are from the Big 8 Conference. And it's 10-3 Florida State, but Florida will start in great field position at midfield on this drive.
I know the rule is in there for illegal celebration, but I'm not sure what they're going to have to do something here for the team scoring right now, because it didn't look like Florida State did anything normal than congratulating each other after the touchdown pass by Omar Ellison, but all of a sudden Florida, now here's a trick play from Florida.
Yeah, they've got offensive linemen on the right side and the left side. The two tackles are split out. Handoff to Elijah Williams, who goes inside the 40 to the 37 for 13 yards and a first down.
I don't think either defensive coordinator got any sleep since this game was scheduled after the Alabama game when Florida won that game. All kind of different formations right now here by Florida.
That's the Emery and Henry shift that they used against Alabama.
Well, they got it here right now as well.
They've got 3 offensive linemen there to protect Werfel, and the others are split out. Werfel, a flat pass to Anthony. He's dropped in his tracks. So that razzle-dazzle play ended up costing them as Eric Smith nailed Riedel Anthony for a loss back to the 49-yard line.
You can get to a point where you outsmart yourself. That time, just a good job by Florida State, good recognition. Eric Smith came and nailed Anthony right when he got that lateral. It looked like it's going to be another lateral, then pass downfield. But I'll tell you, Eric Smith had nothing for it, and he just came up and really aggressively made the tackle on Anthony.
They spotted at the 47-yard line. They have to get to the 38 for a first down, and now Danny Werfel back in the normal formation, back to pass, throws. It is caught at the 38, but dropped immediately short of the first down as his receiver, Riedel Anthony.
I'll tell you, Anthony took 3 different shots. Finally, one of the defensive linemen, right before he went down, nailed him right in the back at the 40-yard line. They're going to punish these wide receivers. They're not that big, all about 180 pounds, 185 pounds, and they're just nailing these wide receivers when they catch the ball.
So the ball is spotted at the 37-yard line. 37-yard line. It is third down and long now at the 37-yard line. Danny Werfel calling the signals. Looked like a Florida State player jumped. Werfel avoids one sacker, avoids another, gets the pass away. It's caught by Ike Hilliard, who's dropped immediately at the 33, and there's another flag on the play. Devin Bush, the tackle. There was a flag at the snap. It looked like Florida State jumped offside. Then there was a flag after the end of the play.
One of the defensive linemen, I think, was number 58 on the play. Peter Fulware got into the neutral zone trying to guess the snap count. That's one of the penalties. That's the 5-yard penalty. It'll set up a third down, and it looks like about 5 situation for Florida.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat third down.
5-yard penalty. It'll break to the 32-yard line of Florida State, where Florida's looking at a third down and about 5. At the Florida State 32, Florida State leads 10-3, 12:27 to play here in the first half. 2 wideouts to the right and 2 to the left. The lone setback is Elijah Williams behind Danny Werfel. Third down 5 call for Werfel. Just a quick pass up the middle. It is caught and dropped immediately is his receiver. It does not appear that he has the first down. He looks to be about a yard shy, does Riedel Anthony, stopped by James Colsey in his tracks.
And Danny Werfel was very slow getting up. He took another shot, this time by Derek Brooks. He came free off the corner. He hit his head on the artificial turf. Werfel was very slow in getting up. They look like they're maybe a little bit short of the first down right now. But Danny Werfel has taken a lot of hits so far here in the first half.
They would appear to be, they are measuring and just barely short. Not a yard, just about a foot short of a first down. So Florida will undoubtedly go for it here, trailing 10-3. Ball is at the Florida State 28-yard line.
Well, Danny Werfel, he got a shot right up into the head, right under the chin area. And a safety blitz. Devin Bush was the guy coming off the corner. Excuse me, and he's the guy that absolutely nailed Werfel up in the head area.
They'll go with 2 tight ends along with fullback Chris Filkey and Elijah Williams standing behind Danny Werfel. Johnny Church is one of the tight ends along with Sean Nunn. Bobble on the snap from center. The handoff went to Williams, and I don't know. It'll all depend on the mark for Florida. Good defensive surge by the Seminoles.
Well, Corey Fuller, the cornerback for Florida State, he's already signaling first down. Florida State going the other way, but I'm not sure. All he needed was about a few inches. But a good job by Florida State defensively, and also Florida, not a clean handoff that time from Danny Werfel, and we'll have to wait and see. The chains are coming in right now, but that's a huge play on fourth down.
Renard Wilson was one of those in the bottom of the pile for Florida State, and it appears that they have not made it. They did not make it on fourth down. Florida State takes over. First and 10 at their own 28-yard line. A big defensive play by the Seminoles.
Well, you had people just coming off the football. You had an outside linebacker, number 55 on the play. Wilson coming in from the outside, just knifing down, making the play, and good penetration by the defensive line, and then Wilson cleaning up on the play. In fact, Florida lost yardage.
Florida State 10, Florida 3. Timeout on the field. Now this for STP.
You probably know that STP Super Concentrated Fuel Injector Cleaner helps unclog dirty fuel injectors. But what could tip you off that they're clogged? Weak acceleration? Hesitation? Hard starting? Your performance starts to suffer, like mine. So use STP Super Concentrated Fuel Injector Cleaner. It helps unclog dirty injectors fast to restore lost power and performance. Do it before the problem gets worse. STP. Drive a better car.
Wow, they goofed.
Who goofed?
Kmart goofed. I only paid $3 for a set of our holiday pictures, and they gave me 2 sets.
They gave you 2 sets?
They gave me 2 sets.
We gave them 2 sets, and we'll give you 2 sets. From now to January 7th, bring any size roll of film to Kmart. They'll develop it and give you 3x5-inch double prints for just $3.
Aw, look, a picture of the twins opening their presents.
Aw, look, a picture of the twins opening their presents.
Hey, are you imitating me?
Hey, are you imitating me?
Stop it.
Stop it.
Oh, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Not listening.
Not listening.
Now back to the Sugar Bowl. Here's Harry Callis and Jack Ham.
Along with our on-site producer-engineer, Gary Baylor. Our statistician tonight is Kevin Doramus, and our spotter is Eric Koch. Studio producer-engineer is Al Smith. It's 10-3 Florida State. Seminoles take over on downs after holding Florida on 4th and short. It'll be Florida State's ball, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
And so far, with 11:37 left to go and a half, Warwick Dunn has rushed 4 times for 33 yards, caught 2 passes for 24 yards, and threw a 73-yard touchdown pass. Not a bad first half for Warwick Dunn.
Warwick Dunn, 5'9", 178. Not all that big, but what an outstanding player from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's lined up alongside Danny Canal in the shotgun formation, as is Zach Crockett. 2 wideouts to the left and 1 to the right. Canal throws the pass to Crockett, and he's dumped immediately, lost a couple of yards on the play. Zach Crockett taking the pass out of the backfield. Larry Kennedy came up in the cornerback spot, nailed him for a loss of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 12.
Well, Zach Crockett doesn't handle the ball all that much, but he is a guy that will pick up the blitz a lot of times with linebackers and defensive backs coming on a blitz. Outstanding blocker on the running game as well.
E.G. Green is wide to the right. Ellison and McCorvey are wide to the left. Now they're in the I formation. Canal hands off to Crockett. Big hole, 30, 35, 40, up to the 41-yard line. Goes fullback Zach Crockett. Mike Harris finally brought him down, but Florida looking for a pass, and Zach Crockett had a gaping hole and picks up the first.
Florida State always has that type of fullback. Last year was William Floyd, who's now playing with the 49ers. This year it's Zach Crockett, who will also play in the pros as well.
1st and 10, Florida State. They have the ball at the 41-yard line, their own 41. They lead 10-3. Look like Florida jumped off. Flag down the play, free play. Throw to Warwick Dunn, and Dunn gets short yardage up to the 44-yard line. But it looked like Florida was offside. Eddie Lake made the tackle. Ellis Johnson appeared to jump for the Florida Gators.
Well, Johnson came into neutral zone, and then one of the offensive linemen moved as well after that, but calling right now offsides against Florida. 5-yard penalty set up a 1st and 5 for Florida State.
Florida sending in substitutions. Johnny Church is going both ways.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 1st down.
Johnny Church, they said it as a tight end on short yardage situations offensively, and he comes into play defensive end defensively. He is checked in for Florida, as has Jason Bartley at linebacker. 1st down and 5, Florida State. They have it at their own 46-yard line. Brock Preston is in there now for Florida State alongside Canal. Here's a handoff, and there is nothing there up the middle. No, that was Warwick Dunn. Dunn got about a yard on the play. Johnny Church making the tackle for Florida. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Florida State ran a trap that time. They're running the same running formations and plays right now, but out of the shotgun. They're using the trap. They're using the delays up the middle to Warwick Dunn. So they're using your same rushing offense out of the shotgun.
2nd down and 4 facing Danny Cannell. Cannell gets the direct snap, throws one, it's caught for a first down to Kes McCorvey, knocked out of bounds at the 41-yard line of Florida State. Caught rather by Wayne Messam. Wayne Messam making the reception. He was knocked out of bounds at the Florida 41. First down, Florida State.
And good recognition by Danny Cannell. They came with a blitz that time. Warwick Dunn tried to pick it up, got a piece of a blitzing linebacker, but got the ball out to the single receiver out to the outside. Messam made the catch and got the first down.
Florida State leads 10-3, 9:44 to play in the first half. Cannell gets the direct snap. He's under pressure, gets it away. It's caught at the 40 to the 35. Down to the 32-yard line goes Omar Ellison. Ellison, the receiver, was finally knocked down by Larry Kennedy, but he picked up about 8 on the pass play. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
Talking about Florida stretching out of defense. That's what Florida State is doing right now. That time, Warwick Dunn in motion all the way to the sideline. They loosened it up, played that zone defense, and the middle was open. Ellison made the catch and got about 9 yards.
So 2nd down and short for Florida State. They have it at the 32-yard line of Florida. Handoff goes to Warwick Dunn, breaks the tackle. Inside the 30 to the 27. He got about 5 and a first down, did Warwick Dunn.
That little delay out of the shotgun is the best running play they have for Florida State right now when Warwick Dunn gets the football. We talk about him not being that big a guy. He's not that big. He's only 180 pounds, but boy, he's got such strong legs and breaks a lot of tackles.
1st and 10, Florida State at the Florida 27-yard line. Florida State leads 10-3. Danny Cannell awaits the direct snap. 2 wideouts to the right and 2 to the left. Cannell throwing under pressure, and it is caught at the 4-yard line by Andre Cooper. A great leaping grab by Cooper at the 4. As Cannell was under severe pressure and threw it up for grabs, and a great catch by Cooper.
They're calling it an incomplete pass down there. One official came over and overruled the other official, saying it was an incomplete pass out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Danny Cannell took a tremendous shot when he delivered the football. One official came over and overruled the other official on the play and made the call.
That was a great grab by Cooper. How many fine wide receivers do both of these teams have? Both teams have about 5 or 6 wideouts.
Well, I'll tell you what, Cooper comes up. He really did not have control of the football.
Here's a handoff to Warwick Dunn, and he is smothered for a loss on the play by the Florida Gator defense. David Barnard, big 295-pound junior from Miami, right there to stop Warwick Dunn at the 29-yard line. It's a loss on the play, bringing up a 3rd down and 12.
We're looking on the replay on his play downfield at the 5-yard line. That was an outstanding call by the official. Cooper never had possession. The ball goes right through his hands, down to his legs, and finally hits the artificial turf.
3rd down and 12 facing Florida State at the 29 of Florida. Cannell rolls out left, looks upfield, throws. It is caught at the 16-yard line for a first down by Omar Ellison. Kept his feet in bounds. They needed 12. They got 14 and a first down, Florida State.
Omar Ellison goes down about 18 to 20 yards and runs a comeback pattern to the sideline. Danny Cannell was rolling out to his left to that sideline and hits Omar Ellison. Good timing between the wide receiver Ellison and Danny Cannell.
No huddle offense for Florida State. They have it 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line of Florida. Cannell gets the direct snap, rolls right this time, looks to the end zone, he throws, caught, touchdown, Kes McCorvey. From Danny Cannell to Kes McCorvey, touchdown, kept his feet in. McCorvey's been a great receiver over the years for these Seminoles.
Well, they rolled out left the previous play to get the ball to Ellison on the other side of the field. This time they rolled out to the right. Design roll out to the right to get some extra time. And McCorvey does a good job of getting open downfield and keeping his one leg in bounds for the touchdown.
So Florida State now leading 16-3 with the extra point coming up by Dan Mowry. Danny Cannell holds, the kick is up, and it is good. And the Seminoles with 7:47 left to play have a 17-3 lead over Florida. This is the USF&G Sugar Bowl on Mutual.
Wanted. Unique and progressive organization seeks highly motivated young men and women for a few open positions. No experience necessary. Applicants must be prepared for a rigorous training program with physical and mental challenges required. Team players and highly competitive individuals preferred. Successful candidates will be placed in highly respected positions with unlimited opportunity for advancement. For those who succeed, we offer significant personal rewards, including the development of leadership potential and increased personal confidence. Travel is required. If this sounds like the opportunity you've been looking for, call 1-800-MARINES. That's right. This organization is the United States Marine Corps, and we're looking for a few more young men and women to join us. A wardrobe will be provided.
7:47 left to play in the first half. Harry Callis along with Hall of Fame linebacker Jack Ham. Jack, the surprising thing, not Florida State with 17 points. The surprising thing in this game, Florida with only 3.
Well, Florida State has done a good job defensively so far against Florida. When it got down in close, they also made him cough up the football one time on a fumble by Taylor. But on that drive, McCorvey ends up catching a touchdown pass. But the other wide receiver, Omar Ellison, for the day, 4 catches for 102 yards and a touchdown. With wide receiver that time on a rollout by Danny Cannell, getting outside the containment, getting extra time to throw the ball, was a big play on that drive.
Now this time Dan Mowry is going to kick off. Scott Bentley had been kicking off for Florida State. The deep men are Jack Jackson and Riedel Anthony. For Florida, 17-3, Florida State. Mowry really gets his leg into that one, and Jackson won't be able to run it out. It's taken to the end zone.
Well, Jackson let it lay down or back in the end zone. He went by it. He muffed it, but he not down the football. Fortunately, he got help over there by Anthony, who knocked the ball out of bounds at the back of the end line, or that ball was a live ball.
So Florida now trailing 17-3 with the ball at their own 20-yard line. Danny Werfel, the quarterback, sophomore from Fort Walton, Florida.
Florida State better be careful. They don't want to get too big a lead. They get a big lead, you might see Spurrier go to that hurry-up offense, which killed Florida State about a month ago. So if it's a 17-3 lead right now, their defense has played well.
1st and 10, Florida at the 20-yard line. Werfel sends Aubrey Hill in motion, hands off, and no running room at all for Fred Taylor. He stopped for maybe a loss of a yard on the play by Henry Crockett.
Boy, just good open field tackle, this time by Crockett on both sides of the ball. Great athletes out here from Florida and Florida State. And that time Crockett just came up the middle, made the tackle. Outstanding tackling in open field.
2nd down and 11 for Florida at their own 19-yard line. Jackson comes wide left. Aubrey Hill and Ike Hilliard are wide to the right. Well, that's Riedel Anthony along with Aubrey Hill. 2nd down, 11 call for Werfel. He hands off again to Taylor, and he is stacked up for another loss, this time by Orpheus Roy, a junior from Miami. He's 275 pounds, would not allow Fred Taylor to go anywhere. Loss of 2 on that play. It'll be 3rd and 13.
In a 31-all tie, Florida's offensive line controlled the line of scrimmage for most of the game. Right now, Florida State's defensive line is beating Florida's offensive line at the punch.
Now the Gators have 3 wideouts to the left and 2 to the right on 3rd down and 13. Werfel back to pass, throws up the middle, got a man at the 35 to the 40. To midfield goes Ike Hilliard to the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown, Florida! Brilliant catch and run by the true freshman, Ike Hilliard.
I'm saying all of a sudden, Florida's back in his game because Florida State tried to rip the ball out of Hilliard's hand right around the 45-yard line. Instead of making a tackle on Hilliard, they tried to strip him of the football and rip it out of his hands. They could not do it. He broke that tackle, and he took it all the way for the score.
So Warwick Dunn's longest pass play in Sugar Bowl history didn't last very long. It didn't last through the night. This was officially 82 yards.
Derek Brooks, number 10, is the guy back in that secondary, the linebacker, the All-American linebacker, to try to strip Hilliard of the football instead of making a tackle, and it turned into a touchdown.
The extra point attempt is up, and it is good. An 82-yard touchdown pass play from Danny Werfel to the true freshman Ike Hilliard. And with the score, with 6:07 left to play in the half, Florida State 17, Florida 10. There's a timeout. Now this for Heat Plus.
It's a brand new way to keep your car running in top condition, no matter how old or new. Introducing new Heat Plus Fuel System Protectant. It cleans, conditions, and protects your car's fuel system. Cleans away power-robbing deposits from injectors, conditions the fuel pump, and protects against water in the tank. New Heat Plus is available right now in the automotive section of your favorite store. Or just call 1-800-323-3219. Get power to go all year long with Heat Plus.
Kick off 1995 with The Late Show with David Letterman.
January celebration days are here.
This week, Dave Welkins, Phil Hartman, Connie Chung, Sinbad, Super Dave Osborne, and Tim Robbins. Plus, next week, Christian Slater, Paul Newman, Aidan Quinn, Lawrence Fishburne, and Elle McPherson.
Yes, sir.
So start the year right.
Here's my New Year's resolution. No more fudge.
The Late Show with David Letterman. Only on CBS.
Dial us up. You can thank me later.
Back at the USF&G Sugar Bowl in the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana, the Superdome, where the fans are being treated to some big plays. The two longest touchdown pass plays in Sugar Bowl history have already happened here in the first half.
Well, the rule of thumb defensively is the first guy in makes the tackle, then the second guy in tries to strip the ball loose if the guy is still standing up. Derek Brooks tried to strip the ball from Hilliard when he was up in the air around the 45-yard line. Instead of just making a tackle for about a 15 or 18-yard gain, he tried to strip Hilliard of the ball at the 45-yard line. He spun off that tackle, showed a lot of strength from getting away from Derek Brooks, and at that great speed he has, Hilliard took it all the way for the touchdown.
Ike Hilliard, the true freshman, with that 82-yard reception. His uncle is Dalton Hilliard. Great back at LSU, and later, of course, many years in the NFL for the New Orleans Saints.
He played a lot of games here at the Superdome.
Jane Edge doing the kicking. It's a wobbly one going to the near side, and it'll go out of bounds, so that'll give Florida State good field position on the kickoff that goes out of bounds. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual, your network leader in radio sports. Florida State will start at their own 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Florida State leads by a touchdown, 17-10, 6:07 left to play in the first half.
Well, both these teams can strike so quickly with the wide receivers they have in the passing game, but it looked like Florida State's defense at 17-3 was really taking control of that football game, but all of a sudden, Florida can strike so quickly. 82-yard touchdown pass to Hilliard, and Florida State all of a sudden has Florida right back in the game at 17-10.
6:07 left to play here in the first half. Danny Canal from the shotgun formation. 2 wideouts to the left and 2 to the right on 1st and 10. Gets a low direct snap under pressure. His pass is incomplete. He was under severe pressure from Mark Campbell, the defensive end for Florida. Although he might have jumped, there's a penalty marker down on the play.
I think he did. He got into the neutral zone. He almost guessed the snap count, but Campbell came off the corner. That's why he was so clean into the backfield on Danny Cannell. Campbell just guessed the snap count early, got into neutral zone. The linesman threw the flag.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That'll move it to the 40-yard line, and Florida State now looking at a 1st and 5 from their own 40. 2 wideouts to the right and 2 to the left. On a 1st down and 5 for Danny Canal. Gets the direct snap. He's under pressure again, and his pass is incomplete. Same man giving pressure to him, only he wasn't offside this time, Mark Campbell.
When the ball was intended for Rock Preston out in the flat. When if he ends up catching that football, Lott was right out there, that right corner coming up on the play. That ball was up in the air and not down very low. Lott would have been right there and nailed Preston in that flat. He had that timed up absolutely perfect.
2nd down and 5 for Florida State at their own 40-yard line. McCorvey and Ellison go wide left. Messam and Tiger McMillan are wide right on a 2nd down and 5. Here's a handoff to Preston, and Preston breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage and appears to have the first down up to the 45-yard line. Good, strong running by redshirt freshman Rock Preston. Mike Harris finally stopped him.
Well, you talk about depth at running back. You take out Warwick Dunn, an outstanding running back, and bring in Rock Preston. You do not lose much at all. Very strong running back. That time got the first down. Just a delayed draw, the same play they run when Warwick Dunn is in the backfield.
Now spotted at the 46-yard line. It is a first down, Florida State at their own 46-yard line. Danny Cannell gets the direct snap. He throws downfield, intended for McCorvey, trying a diving catch, couldn't make it at the 30-yard line of Florida. Kes McCorvey trying a fingertip catch, couldn't come up with it. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, he ran that flag route or fade route where you come down the field, you make it look like you run the post deep down the middle of the field and break it off at the last minute to the outside, and the timing between Cannell and McCorvey, the ball was just a little bit long.
From the shotgun on 2nd and 10, and now they move into the I formation with Rock Preston as the tailback. Preston gets the handoff, and he gets nowhere. Johnny Church right there to make sure he's stopped in the backfield along with Dexter Daniels. Loss of a couple on the play.
Well, it looked like Preston ran right into where the blockers took their men to the outside. He should have cut right up in the middle. He decided to go to the outside instead and gets nailed by Church. Never gets knocked off his feet, but another 2 or 3 yard loss on that running play.
So it'll be 3rd down and 12 for Florida State at their own 44-yard line. Danny Cannell now calls the Seminoles into the huddle. Florida State leads 17-10. 4:54 left to play here in the first half.
Cannell's 9 for 13 for 110 yards and a touchdown pass.
And he's going to use a timeout here. So Florida State will call timeout with 4:42 left to play in the first half. Seminoles leading Florida by a score of 17-10. We have seen a 73-yard pass play from Warwick Dunn after taking a lateral to Omar Ellison on Florida State's side offensively. And on Florida's side offensively, we have seen the record breaking. That was a Sugar Bowl record when Dunn did that. Then in the same half, Danny Werfel, 82 yards, the true freshman wide receiver Ike Hilliard.
And we still have another half plus 4:02 left to go in this half, so I wouldn't write down these records in ink right now because these are two high-powered, big-play offenses can score from anywhere on the field and have done just that here in the first half.
Bobby Bowden is looking for his 10th straight bowl win. He has a 17-10 lead over Steve Spurrier and the Florida Gators. Interestingly, he keeps Warwick Dunn fresh. As brilliant a player as Warwick Dunn is, the second series that Florida State had the ball, Warwick Dunn was not in for that series. It was Rock Preston, and the same thing on this series.
Well, I think, number one, they're going to need him in the fourth quarter. It's going to be a close game. You're not going to blow either one of these teams out or need him in the fourth period, plus the fact they used him so much, either as a decoy going in motion out of the backfield, they had swing pass, they get him the ball. Heck, on the first drive, he had 57 of those yards when they scored that first field goal, so he is a major part, and that defense of Florida cannot rush the passer when he's in that backfield in that shotgun because the running game is so critical and they can run the ball so well in that delayed draw and trap up the middle with Warwick Dunn. So you got to play honest when they're in that shotgun.
Looking down the field of the Florida defense, they have tons of defensive backs in there now. They'll go with a 3-man rush on a 3rd down and 12.
And speaking of Warwick Dunn, he's in the lineup right now. I wouldn't be surprised they want to try to run a quick trap or draw right now. Have nickel backs as extra defensive backs in a game. A lot of times you can pop one right up the middle when everybody's thinking pass.
Well, he's done everything else. Maybe he'll drop kick a field goal here. He's run from...
He has done it all. And he's only a sophomore.
3rd and 12. Here's a direct snap to Cannell. Looks upfield. He throws. Got his man who is tackled at midfield short of the first down. It was Warwick Dunn who got the reception, but he was trying to make some moves. Was stopped shy of a first down by Florida. Now Florida State will punt.
Good job of gang tackling Warwick Dunn. All he did is come out of the backfield, swung out, outside the tackle block, came across the middle, caught the football and tried to make a move, but Florida's defense did a great job.
John List, the punt, hangs it up high. Fair catch called by Sorolla Palmer, and he makes it at the 14-yard line. And Florida will have it 1st and 10 at their own 14. And they will have 4 minutes with which to work, trailing Florida State 17-10.
And I'm sure Bobby Bowden told his team defensively, make sure you make the tackle out there on those wide receivers, number one. Make sure they are down before you try to strip the football. It cost a big play on that touchdown pass to Hilliard downfield on the previous drive.
That was after 2 running plays had netted Florida minus yardage. Then they get 82 yards on the touchdown pass to Ike Hilliard. They have 3 wideouts to the left. On 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line, Werfel hands off. Precious little running room for Elijah Williams, who gets it back to the line of scrimmage. Might have got a yard on the play.
Well, they were able to run the football on the first drive. When Florida opened up the game, they ran the football with Taylor against that Florida State defense. They have not been able to run the football. It seems like Florida State's defensive line is taking control and taking away the running game from Florida.
Todd Rebold, the tackle, he's had a good defensive game for Florida State, the 215-pound junior from Punta Gorda. It's spotted at the 15. They'll give him a yard on the play. 2nd down and 9. 3 wideouts to the right, 2 to the left. Werfel throws. It's caught at the 20-yard line by Jack Jackson over the 25 to the 28. That'll be enough for a 1st down. They'll pick up on that play of 13 in the 1st down before Rebold finally brought down Jack Jackson. 1st and 10, Florida.
Boy, Jackson does a good job of coming underneath and just finding the seam. He made Derek Brooks miss, turned upfield, and got the 1st down for Florida.
At their own 28, Florida still has all of their timeouts remaining in this half. 3:07 left to play. Florida State leads 17-10. Now time is going to be called by Danny Werfel, who did not look like the defensive alignment he was looking at. So Werfel will use one of those timeouts. They still have 2 remaining in the half, with 3 minutes left to play in the 1st half, and Florida State leading Florida 17-10. Elijah Williams will be the setback for Danny Werfel.
I think Steve Spurrier continues to have that philosophy. He'll put people in motion. He'll get people out of the backfield to stretch a defense. He did it in the first game when he put up 31 points against Florida State, but he's having a much more difficult time right now. First of all, Florida State matching up very well, plus putting pressure on Danny Werfel. But the big thing is right now they're having trouble running the football. They have not been able to run the ball against Florida State since that opening drive. Therefore, Florida State can tee off on the passing game.
And Florida will have a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line, trailing 17-10. 3 minutes left to play in the 1st half. Still a lot of fireworks to happen here at the Superdome in New Orleans, and we've seen ample fireworks here in the 1st half. Wide receivers passing, setbacks passing.
Well, we expected big plays. We expected Spurrier and Bowden both to have a lot of trick plays, trick formations from Spurrier. Halfback passes by Bowden. I mean, they're doing it all right now, letting it all out here.
3 wideouts to the right and 2 to the left on a 1st and 10 at their own 28. Werfel is back to pass. He throws a quick one up the middle. It's caught at the 32 by Anthony, up to the 35, and upended at the 39. But he appears to have the 1st down, does Riedel Anthony, tackled by Corey Fuller.
Well, Anthony again. First time was Jackson coming underneath the linebackers. This time is Anthony coming underneath, making a catch. Only about a 4 or 5 yard route underneath the linebackers. Bad angle by Florida State in the secondary, and all of a sudden Fuller has to make the tackle after another 1st down.
So it's at the 39-yard line. 1st and 10, Florida at their own 39. The 3 wideouts are to the right and 2 of them to the left. Werfel on a 1st down call. Back to pass, throws, caught up the middle again over the, a fumble by Ike Hilliard, and it's recovered by Florida State at the 50-yard line. Sean Hamlet recovers his 2nd fumble of the night.
And Darrell Bush, number 44, is the guy who strips the ball loose. That time man-to-man coverage, causing the fumble. Bush that comes underneath on man coverage, gets his right hand in there and knocks the football loose.
Ike Hilliard was the man who caught the pass and then fumbled, and it was Sean Hamlin who recovered his 2nd fumble. At halftime, John Todges back in Arlington will have a complete rundown of the entire bowl picture. Lots of bowl games played today. We'll also have Troy Matthew, the USF&G Sugar Bowl Executive Director, as our guest at halftime. Danny Canal throwing a flat pass to Warwick Dunn. Several moves, gets inside the 40, down to the 39. A pickup of 11. Henry McMillan finally brought him down, but is he a nifty setback, Warwick Dunn?
He is a pleasure to watch. That is a swing pass out of the backfield. He's getting that 4 or 5 yards deep behind the line of scrimmage, catching the ball, making people miss in that zone defense, and at the end using good strength to get the first down.
1st and 10, Florida State at the 39 of Florida. Canal gets the direct snap. Under pressure, gets it away. Caught by Kes McCorvey inside the 20, down to the 13-yard line. Kes McCorvey finally stopped by Eddie Lake, but it's a first down and 10. Florida State at the 13 of Florida.
And the guy who caused that was Warwick Dunn. He came in motion. They loosened the defense up to the outside. McCorvey in the middle of the field is wide open, and a good throw, good touch by Danny Canal.
1st and 10, Florida State at the 13 of Florida. Danny Canal gets the direct snap goes to Warwick Dunn, and Warwick Dunn gets inside the 10 to the 9. He was able to avoid a tackle at the line of scrimmage by Kevin Carter. Eddie Lake got him at the 10-yard line where it's marked, so a pickup of just 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
There can never be a play that Warwick Dunn does not know what to do on the field, because he's going to get the ball almost every time. Flare pass out of the backfield, this time direct snap, throw the football. He's been doing it all in the first half.
Now the direct snap to Danny Canal. He looks upfield, throws to the end zone. It is incomplete over the head of his intended receiver, Omar Ellison, who wanted an interference on Anthone Lott. Is not going to get it. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
But Lott had good coverage on Ellison back there. He had him pinned on the sideline. The ball was out of bounds by Canal. Just good coverage by Lott. One-on-one coverage with Ellison.
Andre Cooper is coming into wideout position offensively for Florida State, and Ellison is out. 3rd down 7 for the Seminoles. They have it at the 10-yard line of Florida. From the shotgun formation. Canal is back to pass. He looks, he throws, caught by Dunn at the 15, but he's not going to be able to elude the Florida defenders. He gets down to the 6-yard line. And he'll be shy of the first down. It'll be 4th down and about 3. Michael Gilmore making the tackle. They spotted at the 7, so the field goal unit will come on for Florida State and try to tack on 3 points here. The Seminoles lead 17-10.
And Spurrier should have called a timeout right here. They're letting the clock run down right now. Spurrier could have still over a minute on the clock before the field goal if it is called a timeout.
Dan Mowry will attempt the field goal. Ball spotted, the kick is up, and it is good. A 24-yard field goal by Florida State's Dan Mowry gives the Seminoles a 20-10 lead with 36 seconds left to play here in the first half.
The difference today, other than that big play downfield to Hilliard for the touchdown pass, has been the secondary, the linebackers causing fumbles from Florida. Taylor coughed the ball up in Florida State territory when they were going in for a possible touchdown or field goal, and then Hilliard coughed the ball up as well. Bush strips the ball out. They've been getting in there, raking the ball out of the receiver's hands, and caused 2 turnovers, 2 fumbles here in the first half against Florida.
Florida State with a 10-point lead, 20-10. We have just 36 seconds left to be played here in the first half.
And in 14 plays for Warwick Dunn, 8 rushes for 42 yards, 5 receptions for 33 yards, 1 pass for 73 yards, a total of 148 all-purpose yards in the first half for Warwick Dunn. Where is the ballot for MVP?
You'll fill it out already, huh? Well, there might be a lot more fireworks in the second half, the way these two can move it.
That could be a little premature, you're right.
Dan Mowry will kick it off for Florida State. Jack Jackson and Riedel Anthony are the deep men for Florida. 36 ticks left in the first half. It's 20-10, Florida State. Mowry Gets a high kickoff away. This will be returned. Jack Jackson takes it at the 7, up to the 10, the 15, to the near side 20, 25, 30. Good return by Jackson to the 31-yard line.
And the reason now with 29 seconds left, Florida had 2 timeouts. You don't need timeouts as much in college football because the clock stops every time you get a first down. So Spur elected to let the clock run down when Florida State came out to kick the field goal and probably wasted at least a half a minute.
And for Florida, they have the ball at their own 31-yard line.
Especially with the quick striking offense that Florida has, they can get up and down that field very quickly, at least possibly for a field goal attempt before the end of the half.
Ball at their own 31 as Danny Werfel calls the signals. 2 wideouts to the right. Play action, looks upfield, throws. He's got Jack Jackson at the 48 at midfield and all the way down to the Florida State 47. Stopped by Sean Hamlet. Point well taken, Jack Ham, as there's just 19 seconds left to play. They can move the ball in a hurry.
Yeah, again, the clock stops until the chains are moved after a first down, so that's like a bunch of timeouts at the end of a half or end of a game that you have if you're an offense. You don't need the timeouts as much.
1st and 10 at the 47 of Florida State, and Werfel just fires the ball into the turf to stop the clock with 15 seconds left to play until halftime.
Well, up until that spiking of the ball, Werfel had 10 straight completions against that Florida State defense.
It'll be 2nd down and 10. They have 15 seconds to try to work it into field goal range as well as 2 timeouts. 2 wideouts to the left and 1 to the right. Werfel, play action, looks upfield. He's in trouble. He shovels the ball to Bilkey, his fullback, who rumbles inside the 30 to the 29. A 2-hand push pass and a timeout called by Florida. He was in big-time trouble through a basketball pass to Chris Bilkey.
I'll tell you what. Looked like you had Werfel down. Good pressure on him in the pocket. He just drifts out to the outside. He realizes the pressure's coming. He just breaks through a tackle at the last second, just dumps the football off. Looked like he's going to be sacked for about a 4 or 5 yard loss. The clock would have stopped, or a timeout would have had to be called by Florida, but gets it off, and now a possible field goal.
Orpheus Ray was right out his back when he shoveled that ball off to Bilkey, and now they'll try a 47-yard field goal. Took him what to move 60-some yards?
Not long.
12 or 14 seconds.
That's why he would still have probably about a half a minute left to go here, possibly a chance even for a touchdown. That's a very quick striking offense on both sides of the ball, and you want as much time as you can at the end of a half or a game on that clock.
Kevin Johnson will snap, Shane Edge will hold, and Judd Davis will attempt this 47-yarder. He is 14 for 16 during the regular season. 15 for 17 overall. As long as 52, he has plenty of leg, and it is wide to the left. He had the distance, but wide to the left. Judd Davis's field goal try is no good. That's the end of the first half with the score. Florida State 20, Florida 10. Now this for Hoover. Florida State leading Florida in the USF&G Sugar Bowl 20-10. We have seen the touchdown pass mark broken twice here in the first half. First, it was Warwick Dunn after a lateral, a 73-yard touchdown pass to Omar Ellison. Then Danny Werfel topped that with an 82-yard touchdown pass to Ike Hilliard. That record, the longest touchdown pass in Sugar Bowl history, was 67 yards. Jack Ham set back in 1947 by Charlie Trippey. How about that? Charlie Trippey to Dan Edwards for Georgia.
Well,
there's a name out of the past. It was a great one.
Sometime during the day here, Florida has 5 wide receivers out in the game. Florida State has 4. They are big-time wide receivers who make big plays downfield, so we may see more touchdown passes and a lot of yardage. In fact, Danny Werfel broke a Sugar Bowl record by 10 completions in a row, and the only reason he didn't have another completion is because he came up to the line of scrimmage and spiked the ball to stop the clock. So maybe they ought to put a little asterisk by that record, because maybe he can continue with it, because he intentionally grounded the ball on the one incomplete he had.
Shane Edge will kick off for Florida. The deep men for Florida State on the near side is Rock Preston and Tiger McMillan on the far side. Second half just about set to start. Florida State with a 10-point lead, 20-10. Shane Edge comes down to the ball, gets the kickoff away. It's a high one. It'll be fielded by Preston at the 9, up to the 10, the 15, the 20, 25, 30, 40, 45. Gets away from the kicker. 40, 30. Finally knocked out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Finally knocked out of bounds by Kedra Malone. But not before a brilliant return by Rock Preston of 63 yards.
A little confusion initially in the back at the 5-yard line. Rock Preston takes it away from the other up back of Florida State. But that great speed he has, he got up right up the middle, broke it to the outside. He steps out of bounds right at the 31-yard line. But a kickoff return, special teams, we thought would be a big part of this game. It is for Florida State here to begin the third quarter.
So Florida State first and 10 after the big return by Rock Preston. They have the ball at the 31-yard line of Florida, and the Florida State Seminoles lead by 10. Canal from the shotgun. Throws a flat pass, incomplete. He wanted Warwick Dunn, and if Dunn caught it, he would have been dropped immediately by Larry Kennedy. Or was that Anthone Lott?
Looked like a lot out there in that corner. I'll tell you what, that ball was high, and Warwick Dunn ducked before that ball got there. He saw Lott. He saw the ball high. He saw Lott moving in on him in that flat area, and the ball, fortunately for Warwick Dunn, went out of bounds.
Second down and 10 for Florida State at the 31-yard line of Florida. Canal with a direct snap, looks upfield under pressure, throws a flat pass to Warwick Dunn, and Dunn gets inside the 30, the 28. It was well covered defensively by the Florida Gators.
Good pressure that time by Carter coming right up the middle. Canal barely got that ball off to Warwick Dunn. Nothing on the football. When it finally got there, the secondary and linebackers were able to converge on Warwick Dunn and hold that to a short gain.
Eddie Lake making the tackle. It'll be third down and 7 for the Seminoles at the 28 of Florida. Canal awaits the direct snap from Clay Shiver. He has it. He looks upfield, throwing toward the end zone. It is in and out of the grasp of his intended receiver, Omar Ellison. Anthone Lott defending on the play, and it'll be a fourth down.
Well, it looked like Ellison had Lott beat in the corner. The ball a little bit underthrown. That ball goes right through the hands of Ellison. Ellison made a couple of tough catches today. This would not have been an easy one, but one I think he could have made. Lott was beaten on the play, a little bit underthrown. The ball's on his right hip. It bounces off for an incomplete pass.
Now they're going to bring in the field goal unit. Dan Mowry, who had 2 field goals in the first half, will attempt a fairly long one here of 45 yards. Mowry's long this year, 35 yards. So we'll see if this is within his range. He's got plenty of toe. It's up and it's good. A 45-yard field goal by Dan Mowry. And Florida State increases their lead over Florida. It's 23-10 Florida State. This is the USF&G Sugar Bowl on Mutual.
Say, you're new on the line.
Yeah, hi, I'm June.
Hi, have you been here long?
Well, I wanted to go to college.
Yeah, me too.
But I didn't have the money.
Yeah, me too.
So I took this job to save up the tuition.
Yeah, me too.
But you've been here
a long time, sweetie.
If you have everything you need for college but the cash, don't take a job, any job, until you talk to your local Armed Forces recruiter. Today's military gives you more than the training and experience you need for a career. For more than 100,000 men and women every year, the military is the best way to get the cash they need to go to college. The Montgomery GI Bill can mean more than $14,000 for the college education you want. And the GI Bill is just one of the ways the military can help.
I know somebody you should meet.
For a date?
No, for a future.
For a better way to get money for college, talk to your U.S. Armed Forces recruiter or call 1-800-727-3677 for more information.
23-10, Florida State leading Florida with 13:57 to play here in the third quarter. Turnaround from their regular season meeting when Florida held a 31-3 lead after 3 quarters. Now it's Florida State up by 13 in the third quarter. Dan Mowry's 45-yard field goal, his third field goal of the night, has given the Seminoles a 13-point lead. He will kick off the deep men for Florida. Reedell Anthony on the near side, and Jack Jackson on the far side.
And in fact, that was the longest field goal attempt by Florida State the entire season. So special teams have been a plus for Florida State. The kickoff return by Preston, and then Mowry with the field goal. That was only 4 plays for 2 yards, and they get a 3 points on the board to start the third quarter.
Now Mowry will kick off for Florida State. Mowry comes down on the ball, gets the kick away. It's headed to Jack Jackson right at the goal line. He's going to run it out. Up to the 5, the 10, the 15, the 20, 25, 30, penalty down, 40, midfield, a good return by Jack Jackson. Mowry, the kicker, finally knocked him out, but he got the ball back to midfield, but there was a penalty nowhere near where Jack Jackson was, way on the other side of the field, and this one's going to be brought back.
Well, Jack Jackson is so tremendous on kickoff returns. He took that ball right at the goal line. He had a seam right up the middle, broke it to the outside. You're right, the flag was thrown on the 30-yard line in the opposite side of the field, but on both teams, special teams are a big part of this football team game right now, and Jack Jackson almost broke that one before the flag went down at the 30.
No, it's an illegal block.
Holding. Receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So instead of starting in midfield, that penalty will start the Gators at their own 20-yard line. Danny Werfel is the quarterback. 2 wideouts to the right and 1 to the left on a first down from his own 20. Werfel back to pass, under pressure, gets it away, caught by Elijah Williams, dropped immediately after a gain of 3, dropped by Darrell Bush, the middle linebacker.
You know, Derek Alexander gets a lot of ink. Also, Derek Brooks as well, the All-American linebacker, but Darrell Bush, he caused a fumble in the first half. Good open field tackle that time right at the 25-yard line. Outstanding middle linebacker.
He's a redshirt freshman from Altamonte Springs, Florida, and he led the Seminoles in tackles this year. They spotted at the 25. They give Williams 5. Back to pass is Werfel. Flat pass caught by Williams. He's jarred loose of the ball on a bone-jarring hit by consensus All-American cornerback Clifton Abraham.
Well, Abraham just read that thing perfectly, came back. Great closing speed to the wide receiver. Jackson tried to make that catch right around the 30-yard line. Abraham came back, just stripped the football out. Outstanding play.
Florida State has a habit of having All-American cornerbacks. Clifton Abraham is theirs this year. Deion Sanders, Terrell Buckley, Leroy Butler, Corey Sawyer over the last several years have been All-American corners for the Seminoles. 3rd down and 5 for Danny Werfel. Werfel is back, throws one, it's picked off at the 30 to the 20 to the 10 goes Devin Bush. He's into the end zone, but there is a penalty marker down on the play. Devin Bush intercepted the pass and went 30 yards into the end zone, but there is a flag on the play, and I don't believe this touchdown is going to stand for the Seminoles.
I think it's offsides against Florida State.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. No play.
Oh, you talk about dodging a bullet. It's a false start by one of the offensive linemen, which is a dead ball foul. The dead play, it means the play never occurred, so that interception for a touchdown for Florida State does not count. I think Steve Spurrier ate the beans last night for good luck, because I'll tell you what, that thing was a great interception by Bush, good pressure by Florida State, and all it'll end up being is a 5-yard penalty.
So it cannot be a play. The play, whatever transpired, did not happen because it was a dead ball penalty against Florida, who will maintain possession and lose just 5 yards.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. No play. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
Wow, that interception for a touchdown by Bush.
That could have been the game breaker.
That could have been it. But instead, Florida will keep possession of the ball, and now they have it back at their own 20 where they're looking at a 3rd down and 10.
And a 5 wide receiver set.
No setbacks behind Danny Werfel. Werfel back to pass, throws a short one, caught by Riedel Anthony, and he's not going to get to the first down sticks thanks to a super tackle by James Colsey at the 27-yard line. A good open field tackle of Riedel Anthony by Colsey.
The only time Florida State did a bad job of tackling is when Derek Brooks tried to go and strip the reception from Hilliard on that long 82-yard touchdown pass. Other than that, that secondary has played outstanding.
So Shane Edge has come in to punt. Colsey is back in safety for Florida State. Edge gets a snap. They're coming after him, but he gets a low driving kick. Colsey fields at the 35, up to the 40, racing to the far side, trying to outrun the defenders, and he can't. Outrun number 57, and I think that's Kevin Carter.
Kevin Carter will never be on special teams again after this game today, because when he goes to the pros, he'll be an outstanding defensive lineman for some NFL football team, but he is down there covering kicks. That's the kind of quickness he has.
6'6", 271, and he strings out a return man to the sideline.
And
That's amazing.
He was moving down there.
There's a timeout on the field. It's 23-10 Florida State. Now this for STP. Florida State leading 23-10 in the USF&G Sugar Bowl here in the Superdome in New Orleans. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual, your network leader in radio sports. Florida State will have the ball in good field position at their own 44-yard line. They have a 13-point lead with 12:07 left to play here in the third quarter. Danny Canal is the quarterback for the Seminoles. Lined up as a slot this time is Warwick Dunn. Tiger McMillan is the lone setback behind Danny Canal. McMillan gets the handoff and finds no running room whatsoever. He's stopped right in his tracks. Is Tiger McMillan for no gain.
With Dexter Daniels, the inside linebacker, just a perfect tackle on McMillan. They try to spread everybody out. They put Dunn in a slot, try to run the ball inside the tackles. Florida was right there.
That'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Seminoles at their own 44-yard line. Danny Canal awaits the snap from Clay Schreiber. He has it. He throws a flat pass. It's caught by Warwick Dunn, who's knocked out of bounds at midfield after a pickup of about 5 on the play. Ben Hanks knocked him out.
In a passing game, that has been the best play Florida State has. Warwick Dunn out of the backfield, catching that swing pass. That time got 5 or 6 yards on 2nd down.
They'll give him 6. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Seminoles at the 49-yard line of Florida. Canal awaits the direct snap. He has it. He throws. It is caught for a 1st down inside the 45 to the 42-yard line to E.G. Green. Anthone Lott tackled him, but not before Florida State gets a 1st down on the pass play to Green.
E.G. Green's made a couple of catches today, and he is listed 3rd team on the depth chart at Florida State, so they are very deep at wide receiver.
E.G. Green, a redshirt freshman from Fort Walton Beach. 1st and 10 at the 42 of Florida. Canal looks upfield. Now he sees open spaces and runs inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. He'll be about a yard short of the 1st down on the rushing play by Danny Canal.
Each one of these offenses put such pressure on a defense. All the wide receivers, the running backs, Warwick Dunn goes in motion, and Danny Canal, everybody dropped so deep downfield. He saw an open lane. He just ran for 9 yards very easily and slid down.
That'll be 2nd down and a yard to go for a 1st down at the Florida 33-yard line. Danny Canal hands off to Warwick Dunn. He has the 1st and then some inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. He picked up around 6, did Warwick Dunn. Ben Hanks making the tackle, but it'll be another first down for Florida State.
I know this guy is only a sophomore at Florida State, but he's got a lot of moves to remind me of Barry Sanders. Not as big and as strong, about the same height, about 5'8", 5'9", but just tremendous moves. The ball was initially going to go inside. He broke it back to the outside, made a quick move, and darted back in again, and easily got the first down for Florida State.
Ball's at the 27-yard line of Florida, 1st and 10, Florida State. Florida State leads 23-10. Direct snap, they're coming after Canal, but he gets it away incomplete. His intended receiver was Omar Ellison, and they had an all-out blitz out on Canal, and he had to unload in a hurry.
When Keith Council, defensive lineman, almost came up with that interception. The ball went right through his hands. They came with a blitz. They timed it up perfectly on Canal. He got pressure, threw the ball up for grabs, and Council, the defensive tackle, almost came up with an interception.
2nd down and 10 for the Seminoles. They have it at the 27-yard line of Florida. Rolling out to the right is Canal to buy a little more time. Throws toward the end zone. Incomplete. Just over the head of Kes McCorvey, his intended receiver in the end zone.
They got a touchdown pass in the first half to McCorvey by rolling out, Danny Canal rolling out to his right, and McCorvey coming back to the outside for a touchdown pass. That time they try to go to the middle of the field. The ball right over the head of Kes McCorvey for an incomplete pass.
3rd down and 10 at the 27-yard line of Florida. Florida State leads 23-10, 10-11 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Canal from the shotgun. He has Warwick Dunn lined up alongside of him with 2 wideouts to the left and 2 to the right. Canal takes the snap, looks upfield, throwing deep downfield. He wants Cooper. It is intercepted in the end zone. He wanted Andre Cooper, his wide receiver, and it is picked off in the end zone by Larry Kennedy.
Well, they're calling it an incomplete pass. There's also a flag down in the end zone. This may be offensive pass interference. Kennedy had great position in the corner of the end zone. We wait for the official call right now. They're trying to get the ball to Cooper, I think, in the corner of the end zone.
It was intended for Cooper. It looked like tremendous coverage by Larry Kennedy. It is offensive pass interference.
I think it's a good call by the official. Kennedy, great job on Cooper. Saw the ball all the way. Cooper tried to go through Kennedy, up over the top and make the catch. He almost came down with the football. Looks like, in fact, he does. The official ruled it an incomplete pass. Cooper went up over the top. Looked like it was almost simultaneous reception between Kennedy and Cooper in the corner of the end zone, but the official ruled it off, saying it was incomplete, and then the penalty flag.
Yeah, Cooper with an athletic move had it for a while, then it was wrestled away from him by the defender, Larry Kennedy. We'll get an explanation.
A simultaneous catch for a touchdown, but there was offensive pass interference, 15-yard penalty from previous spot.
So it was a simultaneous catch, as you called, Jack Ham, for what would have been a touchdown.
But the official ruled it. He came over and ruled an incomplete pass. He's waving his hands incomplete, never ruled a simultaneous catch or never ruled touchdown. And then the flag came down. Either way, it's a good call by the official to make an offensive pass interference call, which takes Florida State out of field goal range right now. Now they have 3rd down and a mile.
They're at the 42 of Florida, 3rd down. And they got about 25 to go for a first down. Florida State from the shotgun. Now they go back to the I formation. Canal rolling out to the left, looks upfield, has time. Now still looking. Now he is knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line. A loss on the play. Ellis Johnson caught up to him at the sideline and knocked him out of bounds. So Ellis Johnson with the tackle is good coverage in the secondary by Florida. Canal just could not find anyone open.
Well, again, what he's trying to do, he's going to roll out, try to roll out, get outside. The containment of Florida. Get some extra time to throw the football. Just great coverage downfield by that Florida secondary. Now Florida State will have to punt the football away.
John List will come in to punt. The deep man standing at his own 9-yard line for Florida is Sorolla Palmer. 23-10. Snapper is Andy Crow. And the punt is away, heading toward the end zone. Lands at the 7, but takes a Florida State bounce and is dead at the 7-yard line. He had great backspin on that punt. Did Sean Liss as it landed at the 7 and stayed inside the 10-yard line, where it'll be first down for Florida. Florida State leads 23-10. This is the USF&G Sugar Bowl on Mutual.
Now back to the Sugar Bowl. Here's Harry Callis and Jack Ham.
Along with our on-site producer engineer, Gary Baylor. Our spotter is Eric Koch. Our statistician is Kevin Doramus. And our studio back in Arlington, Virginia, producer and director is Al Smith. It's 23-10, Florida State with 9:42 left to play, and Florida will start this drive at their own 7-yard line. 9:42 to go in the third quarter. Florida State holding a 13-10 lead. Good punt that time by Sean Liss for Florida State. Danny Werfel calling the signals. He's back in his end zone to pass. He looks, and he is dropped back at the 3-yard line, sacked at the 3-yard line.
Derek Alexander made the sack on his back. He was blocked right at the 3-yard line. Danny Werfel stepped up, and that's when Derek Alexander pulled him down by his hand. But a great job of effort by Derek Alexander on the pass rush.
Now an unusual set for the Florida Gators. They bring in 2 tight ends, Sean Nunn and Chris Braun. Trying to get some breathing room because they're back at their own 3-yard line after the sack and a loss of 4. It is a pitch back, and running counter is Taylor, and he gets back up to about the 6-yard line is all. Fred Taylor went against the flow, and he was stopped by Derek Alexander after a pickup of 3. It'll be third down and 11.
It's a big play right now for Steve Spurrier and a Florida offense. They got to get something going right now. If they don't get a first down, Florida State could have great field position, working with half the field again. That Florida State defense has played an outstanding game so far here with 8:30 left to go in the third quarter.
Just 2 wideouts along with 2 tight ends in this formation on third down and 11. A flea flicker, but Werfel is in trouble. Looks upfield. Now he finally throws. It is incomplete at the 23-yard line, intended for Jack Jackson. He was well covered by Clifton Abraham.
I'll say it does not matter where Steve Spurrier is on the field. He will try different plays, trick plays, inside his 5-yard line or at midfield. It just doesn't matter. But again, good coverage downfield by Florida State. Danny Werfel could not find anyone open at all. Tried to finally get the ball to Jackson, went for an incomplete pass.
Have a player down in the field for Florida. I believe it's offensive center David Swain.
And they can ill afford to lose any more offensive linemen. Young went out earlier with a leg injury, and he has not been back in the game. Swain right now down here at the 7-yard line. Florida's offensive line gets awfully thin with a couple more injuries.
So David Swain was shaken up on the play. And Florida will be forced to punt now. They're trailing 23-10 with 8:10 to play in the third quarter. Swain is not the deep snapper. Kevin Johnson handles those chores for Florida. So Kevin Johnson is in to snap, and Shane Edge in to punt. He's standing back at the end of his own end zone. The very back of his end zone, and James Colsey is in safety for Florida State, standing at his own 47. The Seminoles should get good field position after this exchange. 23-10, Florida State leads. It's a low punt, hits at the 40, but takes a Florida bounce over midfield to the 45 and all the way down to the 40-yard line of Florida State. Good punt by Shane Edge, and he got a good roll.
A 54-yard punt by Edge. That was a low-line drive. Colsey could not get to it. That's why he had to let it hit on the artificial turf. And you let a punt bounce on the turf here at the Sugar Bowl, it'll go a long way. And Florida, who should have had great field position, is now on their own 40.
So 1st and 10 for the Seminoles at their own 40-yard line. 23-10, Florida State leads with 7:57 left to play in the third quarter. Florida State now will operate this series with Rock Preston as the tailback and not Warwick Dunn. Danny Canal still in there at quarterback. Preston and Zach Crockett in the shotgun formation. Now they switch to the eye. Handoff goes to Rock Preston, and Preston gets up to about the 43-yard line. A pickup of around 3 by Preston. He has stood up at the 43. Getting up off the bottom of the pile, free safety Michael Gilmore. Michael Gilmore, an excellent student at Florida. He is a GT Academic All-American, 3.75 his grade point average in zoology. Second down and a short 7 facing Florida State. From the shotgun, direct snap goes to Danny Canal. He throws a flat pass, caught by Preston, eludes a tackler at the line of scrimmage, gets over the 45 to the 48-yard line before he is knocked down. He'll still be shy of the first down by a couple. It'll be third down and about 2.
What a great catch by Rock Preston out in that swing pass. He made one of the defensive backs miss out there, but the ball was on a line. He just made a fingertip catch right around the 40-yard line, made someone miss from Florida, turned upfield, and got positive yards on that play. Outstanding catch.
Warwick Dunn has checked back into the backfield for Florida State on a third down and 2. He's lined up alongside Danny Canal. Canal gets the direct snap, hands off, fakes a handoff to Dunn, now throws, caught at the 45 of Florida for a first down. Kes McCorvey inside the 40 to the 39. So a fake handoff to Dunn, and then McCorvey makes the big reception. They move the chains. 1st and 10, Florida State.
And a good throw by Danny Canal. Ben Hanks had outstanding coverage of McCorvey. Just a great throw by Canal. Got the football out there where only McCorvey could make the catch, turned up, and got the first down.
1st and 10, Seminoles at the 39-yard line of Florida. From the shotgun, Canal takes a direct snap. He throws a sideline pattern caught by E.G. Green. He stopped immediately at the 32, but a gain of about 7 by E.G. Green.
Well, just good decisions right now by Danny Canal. That time they had Warwick Dunn go out of the backfield on the other side of the formation, came back to Green, had the one-on-one coverage, the zone coverage. He saw it over there, just got the football to Green for about 8 yards on an easy throw.
Second down, about 3, facing Florida State. The Seminoles lead 23-10, 5:40 left to play. Direct snap to Canal, quick throw incomplete. It was intended for Tiger McMillan. It's incomplete. It'll bring up a third down and 3. You know, Jack Ham, one of the guys you have to laud in this hurry-up, no-huddle shotgun offense is Clay Shiver, the offensive center, who never makes a bad snap.
And he's snapping it to a lot of different people. He's direct snap to Dunn a lot of times on the running plays, back to Canal, and then also he makes all the calls for the offensive line. You're right, that is not an easy job.
That'll be third down and 3, facing Florida State at the 32-yard line of Florida. Canal gets the direct snap. He looks, he throws. He's got Warwick Dunn, who makes a couple of moves, but he's going to end up losing yardage in his effort to try to make the first down. Ellis Johnson corrals him.
Well, he had the first down. He's trying to get a big play out of it coming out of the backfield. They had to get to the 29-yard line. He was past the 29, turned back, spun back to the middle of the field. He's about, it looks like they'll probably measure for it right now, but I think he is, in fact, short of that first down.
Looks to be just a little bit short of the first down, but they will bring the chain gang in for the measurement. He had to get to the 29-yard line.
Also on the sidelines, I see Terry Dean warming up as well, the backup quarterback for Florida.
Well, so is Eric Kresser. Eric Kresser, a sophomore who is a strong arm thrower for Florida, is throwing with Dean, so it'll be interesting to see if maybe Danny Werfel does not come back for the next series.
Well, right now, it looks like Florida State, now they're bringing in their big people. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They need a couple of inches for the first down. They do not want to kick a field goal. They want to continue to keep this drive alive, run the ball, get the first down, maybe put this ball into the end zone and ice this football game.
4th and a half yard to go for the first down. 2 tight ends. Setbacks are Crockett and Warwick Dunn. Handoff goes to the fullback Crockett. He stood up, but he appears to have the first down. Inside the 29, Dexter Daniels made the tackle. But Crockett at 6'2", 245, got the necessary yard for the first down for Florida State.
Well, he is just invaluable in that offense. He's a guy that tough short yardage. You don't want to give it to a guy like Preston or Warwick Dunn. They're not that big and strong to get that tough yards inside. Crockett will get that for you. He got the first down. Also, a lot of times he is the lead blocker for both Preston and Dunn.
So it is 1st and 10, Florida State at the 29-yard line of Florida. Florida State leads 23-10. From the shotgun formation, Canal takes a direct snap, throws a flat pass to Warwick Dunn, avoids a tackle, gets all the way down to the 20-yard line. He should have been stopped at the line of scrimmage, but instead picks up 9.
This guy is only a sophomore. Next year he may be touted for a possible Heisman Trophy. And the offense they run here and the way they feature Warwick Dunn, he should get a lot of yards rushing and catching the ball out of the backfield. So he is going to be the focal point of their offense the way he is this year.
2nd down and 1 for Florida State at the 20-yard line of Florida. Canal gets the direct snap, rolls out to the right, looks upfield, throws. It is in and out of the grasp of Kez McCorvey, who had 6 points, but he couldn't hang on. McCorvey was covered on the play by Michael Gilmore, but he just couldn't hang on to the pass.
Again, what they're doing is have Danny Cannell just a design rollout to his right and try to get McCorvey on that same route he scored a touchdown with in the first half.
Now to 3rd and 1, they line up with 2 tight ends in an I formation, but a timeout is called by Florida. So Florida calls a timeout. 4:02 left to play in the 3rd quarter with a score: Florida State 23, Florida 10. Now this for Heat Plus. Back at the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, the USF&G Sugar Bowl leading Florida State over Florida 23-10 with 4:02 left to play here in the 3rd quarter. Florida State has it in the Florida 20-yard line, and they're looking at a 3rd down and 1 call.
And Danny Cannell, his stats right now, 21 for 32 for 205 yards. But I'll tell you, your stats can be awfully good if you're dumping off swing passes to Warwick Dunn. He has 9 receptions for 52 yards, and he'll help any quarterback's average.
So a 3rd down and 1 call for Danny Cannell. Cannell's dad, Don, one of the Dolphin team physicians for the Miami Dolphins. He passed for 421 yards against Florida in the regular season meeting. His 40 completions, an all-time Florida State record. That was engineering that brilliant comeback to tie the game at 31. Warwick Dunn is the setback. Zach Crockett is the fullback. Handoff goes to Zach Crockett. He tries to dive for it. It'll be close. It depends on the spot of whether they made the first down. Good defensive surge by Dexter Daniels, among others, for Florida.
I think he's a little short again. Good job by the Florida defensive line, just getting penetration. Short yardage or on the goal line. What you want to do, your defensive lineman, to get penetration. Also, I think one of the Florida players is hurt as well, but get penetration, let the linebackers clean up. And I think he's about a half a yard short of the first down.
One of the Florida defensive linemen shaken up on that stand. It's 4th down. Still a yard to go for a first down. 3:52 left to play in the third quarter, 23-10, Florida State.
I don't think Bobby Bowden wants to settle for any kind of field goal right now. He realizes you never have enough points. As first game they played, I think he realizes that against either one of these teams. So you want to put touchdowns on the board and also control the clock. 3:52 left to go here in the third quarter, so I don't think he wants a field goal here. I think he'll go for it again here on fourth down.
Ellis Johnson is the defender that is down on the field. He is a senior tri-captain for the Florida Gators from Wildwood, Florida.
He was also the MVP in the SEC championship game. He just raised havoc with that Alabama offense. He was in the backfield all day long, was a big contributor to that 1-point win for Florida against Alabama. And he is, looks like it's his left leg. He's walking off under his own power, so I would think he would be back in his game shortly.
Keith Council comes in to take his place. Council, a redshirt freshman from Orlando, 264 pounds. Fourth down and a yard to go for Florida State, and they'll go for it. They have it just inside the Florida 20-yard line. And Florida State leading the game 23-10 with 3:49 left in the third quarter. Backs are split in the backfield this time on fourth down. Danny Canal under center, flips back to Warwick Dunn. He has the first down easily and gets inside the 15 to the 14. Just a power sweep, and Warwick Dunn not only got the one, he got about 5 more. It'll be first down and 10, Florida State.
Very impressive drive right now from Florida State. They're running the football against that Florida defense, controlling the clock right now. It'll be a big touchdown if they can put this thing into the end zone, but they're doing it with the running game right now. Credit to that offensive line.
Ball spotted at the 13 of Florida. First and 10, Florida State. Danny Canal has Warwick Dunn now as a slot back to the left. The lone setback behind him is Zach Crockett. And Crockett gets the handoff and pulls his way to the 10-yard line. A pickup of about 3 by Zach Crockett. It'll be second down and 7. Keith Council making the tackle for Florida.
It's also going to be very tough without a huddle right now. The offensive lineman at the line of scrimmage, these are 280, 290, some 300-pound offensive linemen. This could take a lot of gas out of those big offensive linemen with this hurry-up huddle, but right now they've gone back into the huddle with Danny Cannell for this play here at the 10-yard line.
Wayne Messam and Kez McCorvey go out, and 2 tight ends come in to take their place, Melvin Pearsall and Billy Glenn. Second down and 7. Warwick Dunn gets a pitch back, and he tries to cut it back inside, but he's stacked up at about the line of scrimmage. Might have got one. Mark Campbell with a tackle. And now Florida State offensive player is down on the field shaken up. It'll be third down and about 6.
Almost on every play, people are flying at each other. That's the way the intensity was in the first half. It's continued here in the third quarter. And now all of a sudden we're getting guys banged up on both sides of the ball right now. A couple of defensive linemen for Florida, and now one looks like an offensive lineman for Florida State. So this has been a punishing game, and also in the secondary as well when they're gang tackling a lot of the wide receivers. But here in the third quarter, it seems like some of the injuries are starting to occur.
So Florida State will be facing a third down and about 6. It was Lewis Tyre, the All-ACC offensive guard, who was shaken up. Third down and a short 6 facing Florida State. They have it at the 10-yard line of Florida. Now they'll bring in some wide receivers and take the tight ends out. 2 wideouts to the right and 2 to the left from the shotgun formation. Warwick Dunn lined up alongside Canal, and Dunn gets the handoff, and he tries to dance around and pick his way, but there's nothing there. He gets maybe a yard on the play. Kevin Freeman, the linebacker, making the tackle for the Florida Gators, so the field goal unit will come on. Dan Mowry will attempt the field goal here. Danny Canal will hold. The snapper is Andy Crow. This will be a 26-yard field goal attempt by Mowry, who has already kicked 3 of them. Ball spotted. The kick is in the air, and it is no good. It is wide. So a chip shot field goal is missed by Mowry, and we'll see if this would shift the momentum to the side of the Florida Gators. Florida State leads 23-10, 1:27 left to play in the third quarter.
Well, Mowry's doing the field goal kicking right now for Florida State, but Florida State a couple years ago went out. They were so concerned about losing so many games to Miami in the last minute with a missed field goal. They went out and recruited Scott Bentley from Colorado. He has lost the job back to Mowry again, and this time Mowry just misses one wide to the right.
1st and 10 for Florida at their own 20. Danny Werfel is indeed the quarterback for the Florida Gators, who trail by 13. Werfel is back to pass. Lofts one. It's caught for short yardage. A pickup of about 5 to his running back, Elijah Williams. He was brought down by Eric Smith. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
With 1:14 left to go in the third quarter, that has new life for Florida. Florida State was controlling the ball, moving it down, running the ball, converting 4th down situations, but finally when they got stopped inside the 10, they missed a field goal, so Florida's now got new life here with 58 seconds left.
2nd down and 5 for Florida. Danny Werfel rolling out to the left, being pursued. He flips it back to Doring, who tries to throw a pass, and the receiver's tackled before the pass gets there. It was another gadget play. Eric Smith was the defender that tackled the receiver as they try to double flip back on an end around, and then a pass play by Chris Doring.
We may have to look at this one right now because the receiver was behind the line of scrimmage. He's got to be either holding, either going to call holding right now.
Holding.
That's it.
Defense.
Yep.
You can hit a receiver behind the line of scrimmage. They're calling this one holding. I'm not sure it was holding or not, but he came up and just leveled the receiver. Another gadget play by Steve Spurrier. A rollout, throw back to the other side of the field, and it would be holding because he tackled the man and brought him down rather than just hitting him. If he just hit him and knocked him down, it would not have been a holding call. Automatic 1st down.
So Florida will get a 1st down out of it.
Holding. Defense. 10-yard penalty. Previous spot. 1st down.
Spotted at the 36 of Florida, and the Gators have it 1st and 10 at their own 36. 40 seconds left to play in the third quarter. 23-10, Florida State leads.
Steve Spurrier's playbook must look like War and Peace. I mean, he has so many different plays and formations. There's no way in the world you can defend them all.
3 wideouts to the left, none to the right on this formation. And Eric Kresser is in at quarterback, and he's rudely sacked back at the 28-yard line. Brought down by Julian Pittman. So Kresser in his first offensive play is sacked for a loss of about 8. Julian Pittman from Niceville, Florida, redshirt freshman with the sack.
It's a tough position to come off the bench right now. It's an outstanding secondary, good pressure on the defensive line for a new quarterback to come in there right now, but Spurrier has made the change.
Kresser, a sophomore from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, back to pass, throws a sideline pattern. It's caught for short yardage. It was caught by Reed L. Anthony, and he got over the 30 to about the 32.
And Bobby Bowden has not given that new quarterback, Kresser, any chance at all. They have blitzed him the last 2 times in a row. They sacked him the 1 time. They almost got to him there on the second play. He got the football off the end of the third quarter.
That is the end of the third quarter with the score. Florida State 23, Florida 10. Now this for Buick. Back at the Superdome in the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana. Harry Callis along with Hall of Fame linebacker Jack Ham. We start the fourth and final quarter. Florida State leading Florida by 13, 23-10. In the rematch, the game has been called the fifth quarter after during the regular season they played to a 31-31 tie. But in that game, Florida held a 31-3 lead into the fourth quarter. And it was Florida State that came storming back to tie it. In this game, it'll have to be the Gators to try to do the same thing. Third down and about 14 to go for a first down. Facing Florida, they have the ball at their own 31. Eric Kresser was in for a couple of plays for Florida. Now it's Danny Werfel back in a quarterback.
It's third down and long like this. Third down and 14. I wouldn't be surprised if Spurrier has Danny Werfel roll out to either right or left to get outside that pressure. The difference today is Derek Alexander is in there. He's healthy today versus the first game they played when he had the dislocated elbow. He's putting pressure on. He's getting double teamed. The entire front four has put pressure on all the quarterbacks who've been in there for Florida.
Derek Alexander's second in the Seminoles in tackles, has had 4 sacks, a junior from Jacksonville. All ACC and made some All-American teams. 3 wideouts to the left and 2 to the right. Werfel is back to pass. He throws down the middle. It's caught for a first down by Ike Hilliard over midfield and down to the 43 of Florida State before Devin Bush dropped him. But Ike Hilliard, who has caught an 82-yard touchdown pass, was jarred hard but hung on to the ball.
Florida decided to go with a 3-man rush and drop off 8 people. That just cannot get it done against a quarterback and his high-powered offense. Hilliard found the open seam. Werfel got him the football in that seam for the first down.
First and 10, Gators at the 43-yard line of the Seminoles. Werfel, the quarterback, 3 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. He hands off to Elijah Williams, who goes down in a hurry. Elijah Williams was the ball carrier, and he got maybe a yard. Brought down by Derek Alexander, along with Andre Wadsworth.
Wadsworth came. They came with a blitz inside. I'll tell you, Florida State decided they will not sit back here. They did on that 1 third down play, and they burned him for the third down catch by Hilliard on a previous play. This time they come right back to the blitz and just throw him for a 1-yard loss.
Second down, 11 for Florida at the 44-yard line of Florida State. Werfel, long count, now he's back to pass. He's sacked from behind, back at the 49-yard line by Derek Alexander. Alexander, just a speed rush, beat his man, and before Werfel could cock his arm, he was down on the turf.
Jason Odom is their probably best offensive lineman, and Derek Alexander just went up the field. That's the 4th sack against Florida today. Derek Alexander, when he's getting singly blocked, he'll beat his man almost every time, that time up the field.
So now Florida facing a third down and 17. 3 wideouts to the left and 2 to the right. Werfel at midfield on 3rd and 17. He's back to pass. He looks upfield, throwing down the middle. Caught by Doring for a first down at the 24-yard line. Sean Hamlin made the tackle, but what a fine reception by the walk-on receiver, Chris Doring, at the 24.
I'll tell you, there are 3 Florida State people around there downfield, and Doring just makes the catch, goes up and makes the catch. Great throw by Danny Werfel right down the middle. That's a huge play in the first down for Florida when they needed it.
They have it at the Florida State 24-yard line. They were facing a 3rd and 17. Now Werfel brings them out. They're in the I formation with the setbacks Bilkey and Williams. Werfel back to pass, throws a short pass. It's caught by Williams, and he gets inside of the 20 to about the 19 before he's wrestled down to the 19-yard line. Brought down by Renard Wilson.
Renard Wilson, the down lineman, he turned around after that play and sprinted downfield. You talk about great hustle by a defensive lineman, turning and running and trying to make a play downfield. I'll tell you, both these teams are laying it all out on the line right here with 12-16 left to go in the game.
Elijah Williams is out offensively for Florida. Fred Taylor takes his place. On a 2nd down and 5 call at the 19-yard line of Florida State. 23-10, Florida State leads. 12 minutes left to play in the game. Werfel hands off to Taylor, and he is tripped up after picking up about a yard on the play. Short gain, Derek Brooks making the tackle. So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 4. Ball spotted at the 18 of Florida State. Florida Gators, the 2nd leading scoring team in the nation this year. They set Southeast Conference records in points, touchdowns, and passing touchdowns. But Florida State has held them to 10 points thus far. Third down and about 4.5. Werfel back to pass, under pressure. He's sacked back at the 30-yard line by a blitzing linebacker, Todd Rebo.
Boy, Todd Rebo has quietly had an outstanding game in that defense for Florida State. Again, Derek Alexander is rushing up the field. They came with a blitz that time. Rebo came underneath in the middle and brought down Danny Werfel on third down.
Florida State's had 16 different players who have recorded at least one sack this season, so they'll send a lot of people, and Bobby Bowden will use a lot of people defensively.
The difference today is they are not letting Danny Werfel sit back in there and throw the football. They are coming after him.
Now they have to go for it, trailing 23-10, fourth down and 13. Werfel firing toward the end zone. It is incomplete. Great coverage of Sarola Palmer by Clifton Abraham, and Florida State will take over on downs. Clifton Abraham, the consensus All-American, had Sarola Palmer blanket covered, and Florida State will take over on downs, and they have a 13-point lead with just 10:22 left to play in the game, and it would appear that Bobby Bowden will win his 10th straight bowl game, an all-time record. Timeout on the field. 23-10 Florida State. Now this for Heat Plus. Florida Gators turn it over on downs to Florida State. The Seminoles with a 13-point lead, 10:22 left to play in the game, and Derek Alexander's had some game, Jack Ham.
There's no question about it. In the first game, he played with a dislocated elbow. He really could not get any pass rush at all. He's coming in and out of the lineup for the most part in that game. No pressure on Danny Werfel at all when he put up 31 points. Different story today in the Sugar Bowl. He's been getting pressure all day long. He's been sacked 6 times already. But on the last play, on a fourth down play, I think you go a different area on a fourth down play where you need a big play downfield. I don't think you go to Clifton Abraham, the All-American, great coverage downfield. Find another receiver. He's too good.
Jeff Mitchell, following that play, another offensive lineman for Florida, went limping off the field, so they have lost some offensive linemen tonight.
Well, also, here's another Sugar Bowl record. Total passing yards, 642 passing yards, the most in Sugar Bowl history, and the records are falling here with Florida and Florida State teeing it up.
Florida State now with the ball at their own 28-yard line. They'll probably try to use some clock. They have a 13-point lead with 10:22 left to play. Danny Canal will get the direct snap. Now they're going to throw, and he throws. It's caught at the far side of the 35 to the 40 and a first down.
I think it's a good idea by Bobby Bowden. You never have enough points. 23-10. That last game should tell both coaches that you never have enough points. 10-14 left to go in the game. You don't try to sit on the lead right now against Florida. Continue to run that offense. First down passing play was a good call.
It was caught by E.G. Green for the first down at their 45, their own 45. First and 10 for the Seminoles, who have a 13-point lead. And Canal wants the direct snap. He gets the direct snap. He throws another pass. It's caught for short yardage, or no, incomplete. A bone-jarring tackle knocked it loose. The intended receiver was Green, and Fred Weary made the stick on him that jarred it loose. It'll be second down and 10.
Also, Ellis Johnson, who walked off the field a couple of series ago with an injury for Florida, is back in the game, so that's good news for Florida defense.
Now Florida players running on and off the field. They had too many men on the field, so it'll be a free play for Florida State. The pass is intended for Philip Riley, and it bounced up there by Danny Canal, but Florida had players running on and off the field when the ball was snapped, so it'll probably be too many men on the field.
Illegal substitution. Defense.
It's a wonder that's only the first time that's happened. That hurry-up offense of Florida State runs on every down. That time just really late with some people, defensive linemen coming on the field. Officials, the linesman right there, saw the last defensive lineman trying to come off the field. The 5-yard penalty.
Boston 5 moves the ball into Florida territory, where it'll be second down and 5 for Florida State. They have it just inside the 50-yard line, just into the Florida end of the field. FSU leading 23-10. Danny Canal gets a direct snap. He hands off to Warwick Dunn. Nothing inside, so he goes outside, and he picks up about 4 before he's tackled. Kevin Carter made the tackle, but a gain of around 4 by Warwick Dunn.
Well, you got to make sure you stay at home, you stay with your containment with Warwick Dunn handling the ball. On that delayed draw, he'll break that anywhere on the field inside the tackles. He'll break it to the outside like he did that time, trying to go around right in, and made good yardage on second down.
It is third down and about 2 yards to go for a first down. At the 46-yard line of Florida, Canal gets the snap. He throws a pass up the middle. It's caught by McCorvey inside the 40, 35, 30, tackled at the 17-yard line. Is Kez McCorvey, tackled by Lawrence Wright, but another first down, Florida State.
He is a go-to guy with the wide receivers. He came into the game with 59 receptions. He got a touchdown pass already today in the first half. That time they came man-to-man on Dunn, so he went downfield to McCorvey, and he almost broke it for a touchdown.
Ball spotted inside the 19-yard line of Florida, where Florida State will have a first down and 10.
He made a great leaping catch. That ball was high from Danny Cannell, but McCorvey went up and made the catch and made the run after the catch.
Danny Canal from the shotgun takes the direct snap. He's going to pass again. A flat pass, incomplete. It was intended for his fullback, Zach Crockett.
Well, so much for the running game on this drive with a 23-10 lead. I think Bobby Bowden learned a lot also in that game. You don't have enough of points in a game like this when two high-powered offenses get together. You better not sit on the lead, and he is not doing it right now. He's trying to finish it off right now with 8:57 left to go. He's trying to put this ball in the end zone.
Second down and 10 for Florida State. Inside the 19-yard line of Florida. Canal takes the direct snap. He looks, rolls out to the left. Still looking, now throws, lofts a pass incomplete. It was intended for Omar Ellison. Omar Ellison and Anton Lott were involved in some shoving, but there's no call.
That's good coverage by Lott downfield. Ellison is trying to get away from him. Cannell is rolling out to his left. He's got a lot of time to throw the ball, but good coverage, good discipline by Lott in that secondary.
That'll be a third down and 10 facing Florida State. Ball inside the 19-yard line of Florida. Now again, they line up in the shotgun formation. Two wideouts to the left, one to the right. Canal gets the direct snap, rolls out to the left, looks toward the end zone, throws to the end zone, incomplete. It was intended for E.G. Green in the end zone, or was it Kez McCorvey? Now it was E.G. Green, but well defended on the play by Michael Gilmore. So it'll be fourth down. And Dan Mowry is going to come in and try to kick a field goal.
He makes this field goal. It'll be a 16-point lead. It'll force Florida, if you can believe this, score 2 touchdowns to tie.
It'll be a 36-yard attempt. The ball is spotted. The kick is a low line drive that he missed wide to the left. No good, so it's 23-10. So the Florida Gators still alive. They can get 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points and win this game by a point. 8:37 left to play.
The kicking game woes are usually a problem they thought they corrected last year against Nebraska in the championship game.
This is the USF&G Sugar Bowl on Mutual.
Now back to the Sugar Bowl. Here's Harry Callis and Jack Ham.
Florida State leading by 13, 23-10 over Florida. Just 8:37 left. Florida takes over after the missed field goal by Mowry. They have it at their own 20-yard line. And this is a critical possession for the Florida Gators. If they can mount a drive here and put some points on the board, they'll need a touchdown. Score a touchdown, they can make things very interesting in the closing minutes of this USF&G Sugar Bowl.
And also, you realize the Florida offensive line is a little bit banged up. Mitchell left the game. I can't tell whether he is back in the lineup right now. But that defensive line of Florida State has really taken control after the first drive to open the game, where they ran the football effectively against Florida State. They have really taken control of the line of scrimmage.
First and 10, Florida at the 20-yard line. Danny Werfel is the quarterback. Werfel hands off to Williams, who runs outside and is tackled nicely by Clifton Abraham after a gain of 4. Abraham, good open field tackle. He's a consensus All-American. And Williams picked up 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
And Jeff Mitchell, the left guard, is back in the lineup, but he's also limping as well, so he is not 100% playing in his last 8-13 of the Sugar Bowl.
Donnie Young is not in there. He was injured earlier. David Swain, the starting center, is no longer in there. Kevin Johnson now snapping for Florida. Play action. Werfel throws down the middle, caught by Jackson, and then he drops it at the 45-yard line. Corey Fuller defending on the play.
Well, he would have had a first down at Florida 45. The ball was right there. Jackson doesn't normally miss that. Deep in route, wide open. A good throw by Danny Werfel. Jack Jackson just dropped the first pass of the day for him.
So it'll be 3rd down and about 6 to go for a first down at their own 24-yard line. Third down at their own 24. Werfel back to pass. He throws. It is caught for a first down at the 34-yard line, so they'll move the chains.
I'll tell you, Danny Werfel did a good job of staying in that pocket. They got a blitz again, also another injury for Florida down in the secondary, but good job by Werfel just staying in that pocket. He saw the blitz coming. He knew he was going to get hit on that 3rd down play and made the completion to keep his drive alive.
It was the receiver who was injured on the play, and that is Reedell Anthony, the fine, true freshman receiver. He was hit by Sean Hamlet, and he is injured on the play. Timeout with the score, Florida State 23, Florida 10. This is the USF&G Sugar Bowl on Mutual. At a sold-out New Orleans Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, the USF&G Sugar Bowl, where Florida State leads Florida 23-10. Now Reedell Anthony is on his feet, walking off under his own power after making the first down reception.
Well, they need him in this lineup for the last 7 minutes and 50 seconds. He already has 8 receptions for 57 yards in this game, and Danny Werfel has gone to him a number of different times if they double-team Jack Jackson.
Of the 5 Florida offensive linemen who started the game, only the offensive tackles remain for the Gators, Jason Odom and Anthony Ingracia. They've lost both their starting guards and center to injury, and that has to be a factor as far as pass protection, trying to move the ball.
Well, even Danny Werfel, when he went to the sideline, when he had time to talk to Steve Spurrier, he was limping a little bit as well, so he has taken a lot of shots in that pocket today. He's been sacked a number of times, so he's banged up as well, along with the offensive line.
Sarola Palmer goes wide to the left along with Chris Doring. Wide to the right are Aubrey Hill and Jack Jackson. Elijah Williams, the lone setback. Werfel shoots a quick sideline pattern, caught by Doring. It's a pickup of about 7 or 8 on the quick pass play to Chris Doring. Moves it to the 42-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 2.
I think Spurrier also realizes his offensive line is banged up, so what he's going to do with his quarterback, Werfel, to have him roll out either right or left. That time he rolled out to his left, got the ball to Doring, and got out of bounds.
2nd down and 2 for Florida. They have it at their own 42-yard line. Werfel looking to the sideline, under pressure, throws. It is incomplete at the 50-yard line. It was intended for Doring, and Werfel was under severe pressure.
Again, it's number 90, Derek Alexander. He got his hands up in the air. He jumped initially when Werfel was trying to get the ball to the outside, and then he came after Werfel and sacked him right when he delivered the ball. Again, taking a tremendous shot from Alexander.
Reedell Anthony, who was injured a couple of plays ago, is back in the lineup for Florida. Also coming in is tight end Sean Nunn to get a little more blocking and give Werfel a little bit of time. Unless they run for it here, it'll be 3rd down and 2 for a first down at the 42-yard line, their own 42. They are going to try to run for it. Williams picks up the first down over the 45 to the 46-yard line. Derek Brooks the tackle. But they picked up 3 in a first down, so that'll keep the drive going for the Florida Gators. 1st and 10 at their own 46.
Florida just hanging around and hanging around, only down by 13. Poor field goal kicking has kept them in this game right now. They need a big play somewhere downfield, and I think Wolfer will again have to roll out because they're concerned about that pass rush.
Aubrey Hill is wide to the left. Jack Jackson and Riddell Anthony are wide to the right. Here's a pitch out to Elijah Williams, who's going to throw deep downfield for Jackson. It is incomplete. Tremendous coverage by Clifton Abraham. Abraham was stride for stride with Jack Jackson, not fooled by the flea flicker, and well, you don't beat him very often. He's an outstanding cornerback.
Well, they went to Abraham on the 4th down play. They go to him now on a trick play. This guy is a seasoned veteran. You said that he was the All-American, and I just think you want to go on the other side of the field to try to make plays against somebody other than Abraham because he has been there all day long.
Let's pause for station identification. This is Mutual, your network leader in radio sports. Second down and 10 for Werfel. He's back in the pocket, rolls out, throws a pass incomplete behind his intended receiver, Doring. And it was nearly picked off by Sean Hamlet. Hamlet's had a good game in the defensive secondary for Florida State. He's recovered 2 fumbles. Had a good game also at Tallahassee in that 31-31 tie. He had 10 tackles in that game. He's a sophomore from Hampton, Virginia.
Where Florida State just continues to put the pressure. Now rushing only 3 down linemen, are dropping off 8 people, and they have 6 defensive backs in the game.
Third down and 10. Werfel is back to pass. He gets it away. It's caught by Aubrey Hill to the 45-40 inside the 35 to the 32-yard line before Sean Hamlet drags him down. But another first down on a good third down conversion, Florida.
And every time they convert on third down, it's when Florida State only rushed 3 people. Again, they rushed 3 down linemen this time. Werfel had time to find Hill open in that seam in that defense. He split the seam of Colsey and Abraham and took that ball to the 32-yard line. Florida is still in this game.
6:39 left to play in the game. 23-10, Florida State. Danny Werfel. No, it's not Werfel, it's Kresser. Kresser back to pass, throwing deep downfield. It is incomplete. He had a man momentarily, Jack Jackson, but a fine defensive play by Sean Hamlet to knock it down.
Sean Hamlet almost misjudged that football. He saw it immediately. I don't know if he lost it in the lights or not. He came up a step and had to come back and got his left hand on the ball, or that would have been a touchdown to Jack Jackson in the corner of the end zone.
Now Kresser is out. Danny Werfel is back in for Florida on a second down and 10 at the 32-yard line of Florida State. 3 wideouts to the left. Chris Doring, the lone wideout to the right, and Williams comes in motion to the right. But a timeout has been called by Florida. Now Werfel is arguing with the officials that he didn't call timeout, but they don't. I don't think in this situation want to waste a timeout, but it looks like they have.
No timeout.
Oh, they have.
Replay the down.
It is not a timeout.
There's also a guy with a water bottle over there from the Florida State side, and the official immediately told him in no uncertain terms to get off the field.
The Florida still has 2 timeouts remaining, and they could be critical with 6:23 left, and the Gators trailing by 13.
Well, they're back to their 4 down linemen right now, and I think that's the best way to handle this Florida offense. Continue to put pressure on Danny Werfel.
Second down and 10. In motion comes Elijah Williams to the right. Werfel is back to pass. He's in trouble, gets it away, threw it behind Elijah Williams as he was under severe pressure once again. Peter Boulware was in there defensively for Florida State.
Boulware has really played well. The opposite side of Derek Alexander. He's going to get single blocking most of the time. And that time he can have a bull rush right up the middle and put pressure on Danny Werfel. Danny Werfel 25 for 35 for 349 yards, and he has taken a lot of hits back here from that Florida State defensive line.
He's looking at a 3rd and 10 from at the Seminole 32-yard line. In motion goes Williams. Werfel back, looks up the middle, throws. It's caught by Doring for a first down at the 19-yard line. What a great possession receiver Chris Doring is. You get it close to him, he'll catch it. He's a walk-on from Gainesville. His dad, a professor at Florida, who in high school just dreamt of playing for the Gators. They didn't offer him a scholarship, but finally said you could walk on. Timeout called Florida State.
And Florida State rushed 3 linemen that time. Again, no pressure on Danny Werfel. They've had 3 third-down situations on this drive. Every time they've gone to 3-down linemen on 3rd down, Florida has converted, and they converted that time to Doring. 3-down linemen will not get it done for Florida State's defense.
Florida's been converting on critical 3rd and long downs, and they now have it at the 19-yard line. 6:12 left to play. Florida trails by 14. With the score, Florida State 23, Florida 10. There's a timeout. Now this for STP. 1st and 10, Florida at the 19-yard line of Florida State. Danny Werfel with a long count. Now changes the play at the line of scrimmage. Florida State showing blitz. Flags are down. Werfel might have used too much time.
There's still 3 seconds left on the clock.
No, he didn't.
Might have been moving by the offensive line. Looked like Florida State was going to come with a blitz. Here's the call.
Dead ball. False start.
False
Offense.
start. False start will cost them 5. That'll be 1st down and 15 now from the 24-yard line of Florida State. 3 wideouts to the left and 1 to the right. Elijah Williams is the setback behind Werfel. He goes in motion to the right. Werfel back to pass, looks, has time, throws. It's caught by Jackson inside the 10 to the 4-yard line goes Jack Jackson. Devin Bush, a touchdown-saving tackle, but it is 1st and goal for Florida.
Well, they had a good job by the offensive line. They had 4 down linemen from Florida State rushing the passer that time. The offensive line, which is banged up, did a good job of giving Danny Werfel a lot of time to find Jack Jackson open inside the 10.
1st down and goal to go for Florida at the 4-yard line of Florida State. 5:50 and counting. Werfel changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Elijah Williams is a setback behind him. He'll get the handoff. He fights down to the 3. Gained just about a yard. He was actually hit behind the line of scrimmage. Derek Brooks gets him at the 3-yard line.
Well, you know it's bad out there for Danny Werfel. On a running play, he's still getting knocked down back there when he hands the football off. Again, picking himself off the artificial turf here. He has taken a beating here today from that Florida State defense.
2nd down and goal. Massive substitutions by Florida State as Florida comes out. State players just now running on the field. That's Peter Boulware, who is a pass rusher. Ball at the 3-yard line. Werfel marking signals. He looks to the end zone, and it is incomplete. There is a penalty flag down on the play. However, it was intended for Chris Doring and Corey Fuller with coverage. We might have interference here.
Well, it looked like Fuller had the coverage inside. They're saying it's a defensive pass interference against Corey Fuller.
That is the call. Pass interference against Corey Fuller. Puts the ball at the 2-yard line. Clifton Abraham, the other cornerback, is going nuts for his teammate. Not at all happy with the call by the Big 8 officials here.
Pass interference. Defense in the end zone. Ball will be placed on the 2-yard line.
So it'll be placed on the 2-yard line where it'll be 1st down.
Sportsmanlike. Defense, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Make that the 1-yard line. Unsportsmanlike conduct called on Florida State.
Boy, good jam initiated by Fuller. He turns upfield looking for the football. I see nothing. Absolute nothing. That's a bad call by the official.
Yep.
Corey Fuller did an outstanding job there.
1st down and goal, trying to leap over the defense is Elijah Williams, and he did not get in. He got it to about the goal line.
He got the good bump at the line of scrimmage on Doring, went upfield with him, looked back to the football, and both guys went for the ball in the corner of the end zone. I have no idea what the official saw on that play to give a pass interference.
2nd down and goal, quarterback sneak by Danny Werfel, and he did not make it. He's stopped right around the goal line. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Sam Coward nosediving into the middle to stop Werfel's effort to get into the end zone. So these plays and their efforts to try to get 6 are costing them some time as well. Under 4 minutes left in the game. It's 23-10 Florida State. Danny Werfel brings him out. Werfel dives, quarterback sneak. They say touchdown, but the ball's loose at the 5-yard line. The ball was loose at the 5-yard line, and
I'll tell you what's going to happen. They're going to get another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, which will go on the kickoff. Abraham, after he realized it was not a fumble, that it was a touchdown, spiked the ball at the 30-yard line, and the official threw another flag out there at the 20-yard line, and this will be a 15-yard penalty against Florida State on the kickoff.
Wow. Bobby Bowden is beside himself.
Touchdown.
Oh.
Then a dead ball. Unsportsmanlike defense. 15-yard penalty to be assessed on the kickoff.
So it is now 23-16, and on that 15-yard penalty, we'll see if the Florida Gators try an onside kick or rely on their defense to try to force Florida State 3 and out.
Well, it's awfully close. It looked like he was right at the goal line there when he leaped across. Danny Wolfer just trying to get the ball across, and that's when the fumble occurred. Very close call. 2 questionable calls. This one I thought was, in fact, a touchdown, though.
Judd Davis attempting the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So now the Florida Gators are within 6 with 3:47 left to play in the game. Florida will kick off, but they'll have the 15-yard advantage for the second unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called against Florida State here in the last couple of minutes.
Well, it's a very close call, but I think, in fact, Danny Werfel did get the ball to the goal line. All he has to do is get the ball to break the plane of the goal line. It's a touchdown and dead ball right there. I think that was the correct call. The previous call on pass interference, did not see it.
Corey Fuller was called for the pass interference in the end zone, and no, I didn't see it either on the replay, and it led to an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Well, I think it all started with that pass interference call in the corner of the end zone. You get one jam at the line of scrimmage, and that's exactly what Corey Fuller did, ran with it during the corner of the end zone. Both guys went up for the football, and when it came down, I'm not sure he came down the ball or incomplete pass, but that's when the official threw the flag, and that's where we got one unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and then on a touchdown, which was a correct call, we got the second.
Onside kick here, or do they kick it deep, Jack?
I think they kick it deep. 3:47 left to go. 2 timeouts. The clock stops when you get a first down. It's a lot of time left here for Florida. They're back in this game right now. That was a gutsy drive by Danny Werfel with a banged-up offensive line. A lot of big plays on 3rd down.
23-17, Florida State. 3:47 left to play.
The first thing Bobby Bowden has to do is got to control his football team. They lost their composure. You're going to get bad calls. They're going to happen out there. You got to make sure after that you don't get these 15-yard penalties, although this one here may not hurt them. I don't think Spurrier is going to go for the onside kick. He'll probably kick it deep, and he'll get the ball to the 20-yard line, but you got to make sure your players stay under control in a big game like this.
Shane Edge will do the kicking for Florida. The deep men for Florida State are Rock Preston along with Tiger McMillan. So it is 23-17, Florida State. 3:47 left to play.
If anybody, Bobby Bowden should be concerned about this kicking game. This game wouldn't be close right now. If they had made 2 chip shot field goals, they would force Florida to go for a onside kick because they would need 2 scores, but they missed both of those field goal attempts, and that's why we have a ball game right now with 3:47 left.
Shane Edge is lining the ball up, teeing it up on the far hash mark, and everybody's coming to the near side.
And they've also forced Florida State to take a timeout.
Right.
They did not think, and I'm not sure they were going to kick an onside kick, but they laid the ball down on the tee, on the ground, and they were going to at least make it look like they're going to kick an onside kick and force Florida State to call a timeout.
So Florida State down to 1 timeout remaining. Florida has 2 with 3:47 left to play. Thanks to our spotter, Eric Koch, our statistician, Kevin Doramas tonight. Our producer engineer on site, Gary Baylor.
I'll be very surprised. There was a lot of time, although with the 15-yard penalty, it gives Spurrier a chance right now. It's not that big a risk. If you're kicking the ball back from the 30-yard line, 35-yard line, that's a different story. So he might be thinking right now, if I don't get it, they're still going to have the ball somewhere around the 40, 35, 40-yard line. So they may, in fact, try to get an onside kick. And the only reason they do it is because of the penalty.
Shane Edge now is going to punt the ball. They're not going to kick the ball. They're going to punt the ball. He asked the official for the ball, so Edge is going to try to sky this punt.
And I think that is a smart play right now. Kicking the ball deep, giving the ball, probably go into the end zone. Florida State would get the ball right around, give the ball on the 20-yard line. Now you're going to make, I think it's Warwick Dunn who's back there right now.
Now he's teeing it up now at midfield in the far hash mark to kick off.
Who knows what Spurrier will do here?
Florida State has good hands people lined up. It is an onside kick, and it is up in the air and knocked out of bounds. It'll be Florida State's ball, but it was momentarily up for grabs.
Well, they got what they wanted on the artificial turf, the ball to kick up in the air, try to get your end man down there, but the ball got too high and it went out of bounds. But still, 3:47 left to go. That's a lot of time. They're going to have to get first downs here because with Florida with 2 timeouts, they get the ball back. They don't need all their timeouts, but they took a chance right here to try to get the onside kick. The ball kicked up in the air, and it just kicked out of bounds.
It's at the 39-yard line where Florida State will take over 1st and 10 at their own 39. They'll try to use clock here. They have a 6-point lead with 3:47 left to play. From the shotgun, lined up alongside Danny Canal, Zach Crockett, and Warwick Dunn. Danny Canal gets the direct snap. He's going to pass, and he's going to go deep downfield, and it is incomplete. He was going for the bundle to Philip Riley. Good defensive coverage by Anthony Lott, along with Michael Gilmore.
I think Riley should have had this football. That ball was right through his hands. He split the defense. That ball comes down right, just a little bit long, touches his hands. He split the defense deep downfield. Bobby Bowden still trying to score points, make a big play to ice this game. He doesn't want to sit on the lead, but he is taking some big-time chances right now.
Clock stopped with 3:40 left to play. 2nd down and 10 for Florida State at their own 39-yard line. Now get Danny Canal under center. Rolls out to the right, looks upfield. He throws. It is incomplete. Flag down on the play. It was intended for Kes McCorvey. Penalty marker down on the play, though, and Fred Weary may be called for interference.
Good call by the official. There was contact. McCorvey's coming back to Danny Canal. Danny Canal's rolling out to his right. McCorvey's running down about 18 to 20 yards. He's coming back towards Danny Canal on the sideline. There was bumping down there right at the 48-yard line. That's a good call by the official.
Pass interference, defense, fought foul, automatic first down.
Now it is a first down for Florida State at the Florida 48-yard line.
And no one will ever accuse Bobby Bowden of sitting on a lead.
3:33 left. Florida State leads 23 to 17. Danny Canal will take the snap from center. Canal hands off to Crockett, the fullback, who picks up just a yard to the 47-yard line. Brought down on the play by Henry McMillan.
They got timeouts right now. I think I'd start calling. They're going to try to save 1 timeout for the offense when they get the ball. But I think maybe after this 2nd down play, you may see Spurrier signal for a timeout because, again, they don't need them when they have the ball because anything over 10 yards and their completion, the clock will stop.
Second down and 9. The ball at the 48-yard line of Florida. Less than 3 minutes to play in the USF&G Sugar Bowl. 23-17, Florida State. Now Canal will take the direct snap from center. Hands off to Warwick Dunn. He's nailed for no gain on the play by Henry McMillan again, the senior from Folkestone, Georgia. It'll be third down and 9. And now Florida will use one of their timeouts to stop the clock with 2:41 left to play.
And I think you'll see now Danny Cannell going to go. He got the timeout right now that Florida calls. They have one timeout left. And I'm sure what they'll try to do is get Danny Cannell outside the containment again. That's how they've been able to make big plays. McCorvey caught a touchdown pass in the first half by Cannell rolling out and coming back towards him. They got a pass interference on this drive on a rollout to McCorvey again. And I think on a third down play right now, they'll try to do the same thing.
2:41 left to play in the game. Florida State leads by 6, 23-17.
2:41 and one timeout left if Florida gets the ball back. That's a long time. It seemed like an eternity to Bobby Bowden.
Bobby Bowden trying to win his 10th straight bowl game. That's an all-time NCAA record. If he wins, he will have 8 straight 10-win seasons, also an NCAA record. Joe Paterno became the winningest coach in collegiate football in bowl games, winning his 16th today in the Rose Bowl. Bear Bryant, 15 wins, Bobby Bowden, 13. Heading the all-time list. It is third down and 9 as Florida State. Rolling out is Danny Cannell, looking upfield, throws incomplete and nearly intercepted. It was intended for Kez McCorvey, and that was really dangerous. Nearly picked off by Sam McCorkle. And had he picked that off, he might have been able to go 55 yards for a score.
Well, two things happened on that play. First of all, McCorvey let the ball go right through his hands. He may not have had the first down at the 40-yard line, but he would have forced Florida to either call a timeout or run a lot of time off that clock.
Sean List comes in to punt. Sorolla Palmer is back in solo safety. He's standing at his own 10-yard line. It's a high punt. Palmer waits for the fair catch, makes the fair catch at the 18-yard line, 19-yard line. So Florida has 2 minutes, 27 seconds left. They have one timeout left, and they have to go 81 yards. They trail by 6.
Well, I think we knew the game would come down to something like this. A drive to win the game and Florida State to try to stop Florida and preserve the victory with 2:27 left. Both teams have one timeout. A touchdown. Florida needs a touchdown and a conversion to win the football game.
First and 10, Florida at their own 19-yard line. Danny Werfel is the quarterback. Werfel back to pass, looks upfield, throws. It's caught by Taylor at the 25. He gets up to the 30. That'll be a first down, a pickup of about 10 on the pass play to Fred Taylor.
And what it does also is stop the clock. He got the first down. The clock stops until the chains are remarked at the 30-yard line, so good play by Taylor.
It's at the 31 where it'll be first and 10 for the Florida Gators, who trail by 6. Trying to pull this off in the closing seconds at the USF&G Sugar Bowl, and he's sacked by a blitzing linebacker, Todd Reboll. Reboll, who has had an outstanding game for Florida State, came in to sack Werfel back at the 23, a loss of 8.
Well, I'll tell you, he came like a shot. No one picked him up at the line of scrimmage against a makeshift offensive line. He comes clean on Danny Werfel, and he goes down right at the 23.
So now it is second down and about 18 to go for a first down. Werfel back. He's under pressure. Intercepted. Picked off by Florida State's Derek Brooks at the 20-yard line. And that'll virtually end the game. Derek Brooks with the interception. His 4th interception this season. Pressure put on by Todd Reboll. And the Florida State Seminoles are going to win their 10th consecutive bowl game.
And again, it was the pressure. The 4 down linemen, and they came with Rebowl as well. They put pressure on Danny Wolfo. He had to get rid of the football. And then Derek Brooks comes up with the interception. They also timed the snap count. All the defensive linemen guessed right on the snap count, and also the blitzing linebacker as well. And pressure again. They would not let Danny Wolfo sit back in that pocket on his last drive. They blitzed him 2 plays in a row. They came up with a sack and then the interception.
So Florida State now with the ball inside the 20-yard line of Florida with 1:32 left to play, and they can just eat out the clock and win their 10th consecutive bowl game.
But it wasn't easy. The kicking game, I'm sure, gave Bobby Bowden a few more gray hairs because they had a chance to ice this game a couple of times in the 4th quarter.
Whistles down before the snap to Danny Canal.
Boy, Todd Rebowl, we talked about all the great players, Derek Alexander for Florida State. We talked about Derek Brooks, who made the interception. Todd Rebowl played a solid game.
Yes, he
did. He put pressure on Danny Wolfo time and time again. He timed the blitz up a couple of times with the snap count. A great game by Rebowl.
Ball at the 21-yard line after Danny Canal is just kneeling down to end this game. Florida has 1 timeout remaining, but Florida State continue their remarkable bowl record under Bobby Bowden. Bobby Bowden will go after this game 14-3-1 in bowls. That's incredible. Florida now does finally use their timeout to stop the clock with 35 seconds.
That's their last time out, but I think Florida was very confident coming in here. Florida thought that they were going to be able to score on Florida State and take control of the football game like they did for 3 quarters in the game up at Tallahassee, but that did not occur today. This was a different Florida State defense. They put pressure all day long. They took away the running game after the first drive. They played an outstanding defense against an offense that puts a lot of points on the board, but they could not get it done today.
Steve Spurrier in the last 2 seasons has lost 4 games. 2 of them to Bobby Bowden, 2 of them to his son Terry Bowden. 2 to Florida State and 2 to Auburn. That's amazing. So Bobby Bowden, who continues his remarkable bowl game record, 14-3-1. 23-17, it's all over. Florida State has won it. No, they haven't. According to our producer, evidently not.
Spurrier is on the sideline right now. I don't think they're going to put 1 more second on this clock.
Florida was trying to call a timeout with 38 left, and the officials evidently didn't hear them or did not tell the clock operator, and the clock kept running with 30-some left. Now they're going to put 46 back on. But it is academic because they can just down the ball, can't they, in 2 plays?
There's no question. Yeah, exactly. The official clock is kept on the field by the officials, not the clock operator, which has now, they're running it now with 44, now it's down to 44 seconds.
So technically, we'll see how many seconds they're going to put on the clock as Florida will use their last timeout.
Well, it just seems like here in Florida that all the great teams in Florida saw each other off. Miami beats Florida State. Florida State beats Florida. I mean, the situation where they beat each other.
46 seconds on the clock. The clock is out. The time will be kept on the field.
Clock is out. The time will be kept on the field. So it was a premature celebration by the Florida State Seminoles, but they have the ball at the 23-yard line of Florida. They're looking at a 3rd down.
All Danny Canal has to do is kneel down, take the snap from center, kneel down, and flip the ball to the official, and this game is history.
Danny Canal kneels down. The clock has not started, but the clock is not working in the stadium, and they're keeping the time on the field. So a little confusion at the end of this game, but I don't believe Florida State has to snap the ball anymore, do they?
No, it's fourth down. It's a fourth down right now, and
Fourth down is 16.
And because the clock, we can't even tell because the
clock's
time
inoperable here at the stadium.
The time is being kept on the field by the official right now, so no one really knows how much time is left. But now it's over.
It is over. Certainly not dramatically, but it is over. This game is over. The Florida State Seminoles have won over Florida by a score of 23-17. Florida State, their 10th consecutive bowl win. We'll be back at the New Orleans Superdome after this for Pizza Hut.
You love how new we're looking. You love how hot we're cooking. Yeah. You love the stuff we're made of. You love how fresh we make it. You love how fast we take it. You love the stuff. You love the stuff we're made of. You love the stuff we're made of. Pizza Hut.
There's a whole new spirit at Pizza Hut in the food, the service, the people, and from the biggest smile right down to the smallest detail, you're going to feel it and taste it in everything we do. So from now on, your pizza will be right or it's free, guaranteed.
You love the stuff we're made of. You love the stuff we're made of. Pizza Hut. You love the stuff.
Let us know within 24 hours. Details at participating restaurants.
You love the stuff we're made of. You love the stuff we're made of. Pizza Hut.
Imagine if someone attacked America, stealing your home, your land, your whole way of life. It happened to the first Americans. See how the West was lost on the Discovery Channel and experience the story of Native Americans through their eyes. How the West was lost with special world premiere episodes Tuesday nights at 9 Eastern, 8 Central on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
Back at the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, where the Florida State Seminoles have beaten Florida in the rematch, 23-17, Florida State. After laud the defense of the Seminoles, they came in here and played big against the team that's the second highest scoring team in the nation, the Florida Gators. Todd Rebowl, the linebacker, a couple of big plays for Florida State. Consistent good work by Derek Alexander. And the corners, Clifton Abraham and Corey Fuller.
And also, it was just announced that Warwick Dunn has been the MVP of the Sugar Bowl. He ended up with 58 yards rushing, 51 yards in receiving, 1 touchdown pass for 73 yards, 182 total yards for Warwick Dunn, and he is the MVP of this year's Sugar Bowl.
Warwick Dunn certainly deserving. He had a great game for Florida State. Final score once again was 23-17, Florida State. Our wrap-up will continue after this for Gold Bond Ointment.
I had an itchy rash.
That's Marie Malakany of Glenshaw, Pennsylvania.
I previously used cortisone 10. Then I used Gold Bond medicated cream.
Gold Bond medicated anti-itch cream. Itch relief that starts to work on contact. And a recent clinical study showed at 10 minutes, Gold Bond cream provided more effective itch relief than cortisone 10. And Gold Bond contains 2 medically proven pain relievers not found in cortisone 10.
The Gold Bond cream relieved my itch immediately.
Try Gold Bond medicated anti-itch cream. Use as directed.
Red Roof Inns present Pull It Over with Martin Mull.
Thanks, Fred.
Martin, listen to this. Typical business travelers keep their eyes closed 75% of the time they're in their hotel rooms. Please mull that over.
Fred, that's known as sleep.
Ah, that would explain it.
And it's why Red Roof Inns don't fill their rooms with expensive frills. I mean, why pay for what you can't even see?
I don't know.
For a clean, quiet, comfortable room at an affordable rate, hit the roof. Call 1-800-THE-ROOF or your travel agent.
Martin, nobody can mull like you.
It's my birthright.
Oh, well, happy birthright.
Something odd happens when disaster strikes. You find yourself saying, those poor people, I really should do something. You feel lucky or guilty or somewhere in between. And then you forget about it. But not at AmeriCares. For the last 11 years, we've been acting on that emotion, responding immediately, and delivering more than $760 million worth of medicine and other relief supplies to people suffering because of natural disasters or man-made ones, from Somalia to South Central Los Angeles. And while we may not be the oldest relief organization, Money Magazine has rated us one of the most efficient when it comes to putting donor dollars to work. In fact, every dollar you give lets us deliver more than $22 worth of aid, a priceless amount to the people we help. If you'd like to know more about AmeriCares, call us at 1-800-486-HELP. AmeriCares. With your help, we can make a real difference, and we can make it now.
Back at the Superdome in the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana, where Florida State has beaten Florida 23-17 in the 61st annual USF&G Sugar Bowl. And as we mentioned, Florida State doing it defensively, albeit Warwick Dunn certainly deservingly was named the most valuable player of this Sugar Bowl. But it was really the defense that held this high-powered Florida attack to 17 points. And it was, we saw all kinds of things, Jack Ham, a lot of flea flickers, running backs throwing passes, wide receivers throwing passes, and doing it effectively.
Well, anytime you get Bobby Bowden and Steve Spurrier together in a game, you know you're going to get all kind of plays offensively, but really, you're right. It was a defense. Florida State came in with the attitude they are not going to sit back with a three-man rush and just let people complete passes downfield. They're going to go after Danny Wolford. They did it all day long. They pressured him, they sacked him, they hurried him a number of different times. Besides Derek Alexander, Rebold did a great job of timing up his blitz. And they just felt the pressure was the way to beat Florida, and that's exactly what they did. Took away their running game after the first series. Got to give a lot of credit to Bobby Bowden. He had that defense well prepared today and took control of a very good Florida offense.
We'll have a final word right after this message.
Research shows there's nothing like babies and puppies to get your attention, which is why we're using them to draw your attention to the federal government's free Consumer Information Catalog from, where else, Pueblo, Colorado. The catalog lists free and low-cost government publications on saving money, finding a job, educating your children, buying a home, getting federal benefits, staying healthy. Sorry, I thought I was losing you there for a second. Now, where were we? Best of all, the Consumer Information Catalog is free. And so are many of the publications listed inside. To get your free Consumer Information Catalog, send your name and address to Catalog, Pueblo, Colorado, 81009. That address again, Catalog, Pueblo, Colorado, 81009.
The 1995 USF&G Sugar Bowl on Mutual was brought to you by State Farm, by STP, by Kmart Photo, by Little Caesars, by Heat Plus, by Pizza Hut, by Goodyear, by Buick, and by Discovery Channel. The director of Mutual Sports is Larry Michael, coordinating producer Al Smith. This evening's USF&G Sugar Bowl was produced and engineered by Gary Baylor. Our studio producer-engineer in Arlington, Virginia was Al Smith. Our statistician was Kevin Doramus, and our spotter was Eric Koch. Now for Jack Ham, the Hall of Fame linebacker, Harry Callis wishing you all the best in 1995.